to a break.
Yep, let's cut it to a break. We're going to do a 7-minute break because 7 is one of my favorite Age of Empires 2 taunts. So if everyone could go, that will start the break for us, and we'll be back with the next best of 5 between Suomi and Aftermath. Alright, guys, thank you for your patience. Awesome games there. Awesome games. I'm excited to get into the next ones. We'll have them in a few minutes. Before we do, I'm going to have a special surprise for you. Many of you probably know all about Finland's and about the special player, the Max. We have a special video. Let me make sure everything's... Okay, that would not be it. That is not the video. I can promise you that much. Make sure I have the video here. Yes, I do. There was an interview with the legend himself and a little bit of a special game. So without any further ado, guys, we're going to get right into that.
Welcome to Inquisition, the fight for supremacy, a game show where top experts test their Age of Empires knowledge and I make terrible, terrible puns. Who will be the champion and who will fall flat on their arson? Let's find out. Round 1. Name that unit. For 2 points, can you tell me which unit this is from just seeing the stats?
That's the Bedouin.
Correct. That was easy.
Yeah.
An easy start. I'm surprised you got it that quickly, though, to be honest. Most players so far have been like, let me think about this. You're just like, go beta. No messing around. Round 2. Tournament history. For 2 points, can you name the winner of Masters of Arena 1?
Oh, 1.
Would you like the date?
I'm going to say Miguel, but...
Nice, you got it. That's right. 2 for 2 so far, up to 4 points. And it was Miguel, and it was in 2013, but you didn't need the date. You're too good for that. You don't need the date. Question number 3. Which one of your teammates once scored 9 basketball free throws in a row?
Well, that's going to be Tsupi.
Correct again! Easy.
Well, he's the basketball player.
Well, that's good. I mean, it shows you know your teammates, and that's more than we can say for some other teams. Tech Trouble is up next. I'll tell you the name of a technology, and for 2 points, you tell me how much it costs. Your technology is Parthian Tactics.
It's 200 food and 250 gold.
Correct as well. Oh my god. You're a machine. So you're currently at 8 points. And I can tell you're already ahead of everyone else who's done this quiz so far.
Okay, great.
But you are the guy who made the Barbarian AI, so I would expect you to know these tech costs and things.
Yeah, I have had to teach it the costs of the technologies anyway.
We're on to the final round, and it's our quickfire round. You'll score 1 point for each correct answer. Within 20 seconds, you must name as many unique technologies from the castle as possible. Your time starts now.
Yemen, Anarchy, Logistiikka, Anden Sling, Sultans, Zilla 3, Perfusion, Furor Celtica, Rocketry.
Time's up. Oh, I think you said that one a little bit too late. Honestly, I lost count. You said them too quickly.
Sorry.
Max, I think you are way in the lead right now.
Okay, great.
You absolutely killed it. I'm going to have to go back and check the VOD to see how many points you actually have. I don't even know what to say. I mean, you're going to make everyone else look so bad. This is ridiculous. So, before we finish this anyway, I just wanted you to tell me how you're feeling about the ECL and, you know, how you're feeling about your team's performances so far and how you think you're going to do going forward.
Well, the 1v1 tournament was a bit disappointment that we only got 1 point out of it, but I think we are going to do well in the next 4v4 tournament.
The 4v4 is probably something you guys are more prepared for in a way, I suppose.
Yeah.
And do you see your team being one of the more prepared teams in the league? Do you think you're going to be the ones putting in the most, maybe not the most time, but a lot of time into it, more than the others?
Yeah, I expect that we will prepare well for all the tournaments.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and congratulations on probably winning the quiz. I don't know yet. I've not quizzed everyone, but that was impressive. So yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, that was pretty cool, man. That was pretty cool. I was really wondering how he was going to do with the technologies, right? Because so many times these pros, they played for so long, they don't know the cost of things. They just do it all by feel, and they know that a certain civ has a tech, but they don't know exactly what it's called. So he did a pretty good job, if you ask me. And we will see how Suomi and Aftermath does in these games here in just one moment. Before we get into that, guys, I think it's worth pointing out the standings. Here are the overall standings. So this is not updated after SY just beat Frantic, of course, because whoever wins in this best of 5 faces SY in the finals, which we will also see today. But anyway, AM is in 5th place with only 10 points, and Suomi, or Finland, is in 6th place with only 5 points. So it's very important for both teams to get results here. If they want to try and catch up and get into the higher positions, they're going to need some results. And man, am I excited for this, because both teams really need this, and then both teams, of course, have a tremendous amount of skill. All right, so what I need to do is get Mr. Barbecue Turkman back on here. Turkman, are you still there, man?
Mate, I'm not missing this for anything. I've been sitting here frantically watching everything I can see, looking through the stats. I am just ready to go.
Did you say frantically?
Frantically. Which is a bit of a shame, I guess.
You missed out on using that last series, man. Last series was frantic.
Yeah, that feels like a waste.
So one could say that Suomi a joke. Suomi a good joke this series. Get it? Like, you owe me, Suomi. I tried.
Yeah.
I'll think about another one.
I get you.
I'll think about another one.
That might have actually put us over our quota.
Yeah, I think it did. I'll get another one at some point, I promise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 1 between Aftermath and between Suomi, aka Finland. I always call them Finlands because I like to call them Winland, so we'll stick with that. This is a 3v3 on Bedouins. Bedouins is a nomad start. There's shorefish focus. We've been seeing it a lot recently. I am going to introduce the teams once I can figure out their positions, and myself and Barbecue Turkman are just going to get this party started. Leary's in the green for his team. He's playing as the Ethiopians. Right next to him is MBL. MBL is playing as the Persians. And then Nikov is way on the other side, playing as the Chinese for Aftermath.
For Suomi, we have the Max in the purple as Persians. We have Zupi in the red as Chinese. And I am looking for where Valise is in the... there he is.
Yep.
Top in the north as the Ethiopian as the orange. Yeah, you're right. This is interesting. Nikov got this apparently.
Yeah, Nikov is in... He's all on his own, man. He's all on his own, which could be good because he's pretty far away from people, but also could be very bad, of course, if he is 2v1'd. This map it's so important to have your Chinese player in the carry role. And there was an awesome game between... I tend to confuse games, but I believe it was between Secret and Aftermath on Bedouins. And in that game, Nikov was actually left alone, and then Nikov was able to carry his team. That was another really funny game. That was another funny game and a really powerhouse game from Nikov. I think both of these teams have had the quality throughout this whole event. They are individual greats, but it's been the consistency, Barbecue Turkman, that has really let them down, which sees them in 5th and 6th place in the overall standings. So they're going to need consistent results to win a best of 5, and they'll need consistent results to win the final against SY today.
Bang on, mate. And this is the problem. I don't think heaps of teams have been having it. But look, going into this, AM, Suomi, like everyone thought they were going to be an absolute powerhouse at the start. And the thing is, as individual players, as team players, they're fantastic. Like, you can't really, you look at them and you look at a lot of the games they've played and you really can't fault it overall. What's really been kind of letting it down more than anything I've found has been the communication and teamwork, especially in these kind of stages. Because, you know, as they say, a team of champions doesn't necessarily make a champion team.
Yeah.
I am so looking forward to being proved wrong. I really hope that's the case, especially with the rest of this tournament going on. But they need the wins here if they want to stay in this.
So, as far as predictions go with strategies, we are typically seeing the Persian player go for a few scouts to open up and then look towards a faster castle time. The Chinese players, we've been seeing a lot of fast castles, and then the Ethiopian players, as we do have both teams with Ethiopians, they tend to go fast castle into crossbows. So we'll have Velez in the orange. He will be going crossbows. We have Leary in the green. I think it's important to keep an eye on Leary because Leary was exceptionally good last weekend in the quarters on this map. They will be going for those crossbows. Then we have MBL, who's taken the Max's color here. I wonder if there was an argument beforehand because typically Max is teal. But anyway, he'll be going scouts. And then we will have the Max in the purple going scouts. And then, of course, in the red is Zupi. He's Chinese. And in the blue, we have Chinese for Nikov. They'll be going for what I assume is fast castle. I could be way off base, but that's just my educated guess before we see it.
Interesting. I like it. No, it all feels super, super solid, man. Kind of the thing I'm liking the most is we're nearly at 7 minutes and we haven't too much walls. Looks like Nikov's kind of going for a little bit towards the north of his base there. And everyone's kind of getting laid out for it, but I guess the thing kind of look at more than anything right now is where everyone's kind of town centers are. If you have a look how close pretty much all of Finland is together there, they're going to find it very, very easy to support each other at the same time. But it means they have less ground naturally to hold on to. So later the game goes, the more they can be struggling for resources.
That also means...
That said,
Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, go for it. No, go for it. I'm interested.
I'm sorry.
I like what you have to say.
We're just so excited, you know, and we run into each other sometimes, or I run into you sometimes. I was just going to say, and that means if Leary gets a ball of 20 crossbows, he can not only damage one person, he can damage others as well. So, on one hand, yes, you're very close for reinforcements, which could be good, but it could also be very bad if you're unable to reinforce.
Bang on. He can literally walk a screen distance and move from harassing one person's woodline literally to the next.
Yeah,
it's that easy.
Well, Max is building his barracks now, and I expect to see him click up to Feudal Age soon. And then looking over on the other side of the map where we have MBL. Let's see, MBL. Yeah, MBL is already on the way up, so they actually have identical or near identical times. So MBL or, yeah, Max has 2 more vills, so he must have had a faster TC start. They'll be going for the scouts, and here are the walls. You know, Turkmen, I'm sure you're familiar with the Hidden Cup, which is a 1v1 event that happened a few months ago.
Favorites. Absolute favorite events. It's like, it's beautiful. That's what I wanted to see in a tournament for so long.
Well, it was a great event, and there will be another one in the future, but I don't know if there'll be a team game one ever, but I was just kind of laughing to myself here because in the previous sets, we had CL walling at minute 5, you know? And the walls are coming up much later for these teams, so if we didn't know who the players actually were, I feel like it'd be a pretty big tell that these two teams were not SY or Frantic because of how late their walls are in comparison.
Which is really interesting as well. It shows you the different play styles of each team and how they kind of combat it well. Because you know those walls are going up for CL. It's just how it is. So how people adjust their strategies around that's what's really been kind of taking, I would say, my breath away in this tournament more than anything. And at the same time, playing to your opponent, that's what we need to see here. It's what we need to see more from Finland. It's what we need to see more from AM. And that's where it's really going to kind of make the difference here.
As you look across the northern side, you can see Finland are starting their walls. There are still some obvious gaps, but that will be closed off in time. And there is the stable for Max. So the problem with walling late, and the reason some teams wall early, is because if you wall too late, opponent scouts can come in and pick off your villagers. MBL will be making scouts, and we will see the scouts from the Max. And man, it's confusing to me that MBL is teal. I keep thinking Max is teal because I've casted so many games with him. It's alright, we can do this. It's fine. It's fine.
Mate, I believe in your ability here. I think you can get your head around. You've got it.
It's good to have someone finally believe in me. Twitch chat never does, man. Twitch chat...
You gotta have at least one.
Yeah, there might be one person out there, and to whoever you are, I love you, man. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you.
It's fantastic. I am so worried about Nikov right now, though, because like you said, we've got the walls coming up for AM. You've got MBL's pretty much going all the way to the edge of the map there, really kind of going in for it. Actually throwing a market up at the same time now as well. Leary's kind of starting his walls as well. Will sync it up with MBL's. But Nikov's sitting off over here all on his lonesome, and I'm really worried that he might just get double teamed if they can't do any damage to MBL or Leary. And Leary's going to have so much trouble getting over there to help him out.
So Persian players will open up the map a little bit. So we have the scouts from Max. He's keeping this area open. MBL, he's going to try, well, unsuccessfully, to keep the map open on Finland's side. But what it really will come down to now is how successful will the players who are playing as the Chinese be, because they're fast castling. Then how successful will the archer players be, so Ethiopians. And look at those uptimes, guys, as we watch Max coming in here with 2 scouts, and he will maybe kill that villager. Those uptimes are insanely good for both of the archer civs and both of the, well, will be knight and camel civs being Chinese.
This is what we're looking at. Look how tight.
Yeah,
and
there's a sling. Yeah. MBL has made scouts, and he's now slinging Nikov. So this is a difference in strategy yet again, and Nikov's going to need the help. He just lost 2 villagers. Pretty sloppy stuff from him.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is what we want to see, guys. A little bit of difference, a little bit of something going out, and we'll see, I guess, how much MBL continues to sling. Hopefully it's a commitment here from him. Obviously, market, so it is going to be a little bit of a cost to get into it. So it looks like Nikov might be the powerhouse in this game. It's just up to see if MBL and Leary can kind of survive it and do the damage they need to.
Yep, so it'll be a 2v3 most likely in Castle Age. Let's keep in mind that while Max is not slinging, he will be in Castle Age himself in a few minutes, and he'll be making knights. It's just that Leary and Nikov are going to have so many resources to work with. And the party starts now, man. The party starts now. Leary has his crossbows. He has Bodcanero on the way. This is where it gets fun to watch as a spectator.
Oh, absolutely, because Nikov at this point basically has to be everywhere. Yep. Same goes for Leary. They can't let MBL basically just be pushed away on. Can't let the damage happen there. So really what we're going to see hopefully here is some fantastic play, some great positioning, and really just kind of pushing it kind of, I guess, towards the bases of Finland and not really let them push out and get too aggressive. They need the map control.
And Leary's played this a little bit more passively than I expected with the sling being involved. You know, he's done the right thing to run away from his woodline here as Velez moves in, or Velez moves in. People are always a bit torn on how I should pronounce that, and so am I. But anyway, like, he went with 1 archer range, which is a bit peculiar. So perhaps putting a lot of the pressure on Nikov here, and Nikov already has +2 defense on his knights, and he's sending the support over.
This is good. This is really good. Having the knights upgraded, he's already at a good place. So even with someone like Zappi creating the knights well, there's a good chance that Nikov's going to be able to get much more efficient trades against them. And this is where the sling really helps. What am I missing?
Leary has lost 2 villagers to Max's scouts, and now a knight arrives from Zupi. So they could have denied that TC there, but at the very least, Leary loses 3 vills that he probably was not expecting to lose. And he could potentially lose more as well. Interesting micro there from Max and Zupi, but the damage has already been done. That was well played. That was well played.
That was perfect. These are the little opportunities they're looking for at this stage. Any kind of skill they can get into. And again, go!
Sorry, Max's TC was now denied. Leary kills 3 villagers right back at him. And okay, this is very good for Aftermath all of a sudden, because they have nice army momentum with the sling. And Max, he must be struggling for gold. He doesn't have any gold. No, I'm sorry, he does have this, but that was a risky TC spot. Jeez.
Whoa, this is pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Everyone's getting every opportunity they can in here. We've got some scouts chilling around at the moment, trying to do some damage, find out where they can do it. We've got these upgrades from Nico. It's making so much of a difference now. Zupi just can't engage against them. It's just not an efficient trade to take. It's perfect. And because of this, look at the map control Nikov's got. Even Monk's out.
Yeah, I think that a sling on this map is not seen as often. So they probably thought that MBL was doing just what Max has done here, and they were not expecting any sling. Now they're probably realizing, and they have to say to themselves, let's hold, let's just survive, because then we'll have 3 people in the game. But that is not going to be easy to do once the siege starts coming out, once the castles start coming up. Because at the moment, Nikov and Leary, they really can't be touched, and I think they're going to take advantage of that.
I completely agree. Look at it. Nikov's looking for a place to get aggressive now. He's poking, he's prodding. He's got the line of sight from the monks. He can kind of see everything that's coming in. Couple of crossbows there from Valise, looking like they're going to be ready to help defend the Max here. The Max, again, just doesn't have the ups on this to kind of really bring it in, but potentially we could see a convert here as well. Yep. Another freebie.
Yep, another
there we
freebie.
Go.
That's the problem. Max can't push out. Valise can't push out, or Valise can't push out. They can't do anything except maybe try and hold this. And I think that puts pressure on Zupi. Zupi's at 52 villagers, on par with the person receiving Sling on the other side. He needs to boom. He needs to boom big time while the other two hold, and then hopefully get to the Imperial Age faster or around the same time and push back.
Oh, it's just rough at this stage because Nikov is ready. He's pushing against the stables now. He's got the monks behind this. He's ready to spot anything that kind of comes out. Here come the converts. We might get into a little bit of a convert war here as well. The monk is definitely in just favor of Nikov at the moment. But here we go. Zap is getting his numbers up, and this is where it's going to get fun.
I wonder what the imp times will be like, because I have to think Leary and Nikov should be faster to imp after having an ally slinging them. If Leary gets the power spike with the Imperial Age, because currently he's receiving resources from MBL, that'll be pretty huge here. Simply because he has Ethiopian crossbows and he's a Leary, who in my opinion has the best archer micro in the game. Look at that! That was insane to dodge multiple times there and get those pickoffs.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. You're right. As Ethiopians, if he moves up into Arbalest, gets that power as it kind of comes into Imperial, and he can kind of push it as well with all the extra advantage he's going to have. Combine that with the micro, and this is just looking like they'll be in a very, very good spot if they get there. But there's Nikov. He's clicked up. He's looking at 27-25 up.
Yep. And Leary will be on the way behind him. So both the AM players on the way to the Imperial Age. Let's double check. Max is nowhere near. Velez is getting closer, but he's really nowhere near. And same for Zupi. So they're going to have to try and hold against Imperial Age armies, and I just don't see how they'll be able to do that. They really need a fight and engagement to go well for them now before the opponent hits the Imperial Age.
At the same time, though, exactly what Nikov and Leary is going to be thinking the opposite. They don't want to overcommit. They want to sit back. As soon as they hit Imperial, get their ups, go in, take the fight, and get every little advantage they can from every little shred of hit point to every shred of armor. And you're exactly right. Valise needs to get in there and do some picks or something. Otherwise, this could turn into a steamroll very, very quickly.
Yep. At the moment, as a team, Finland have a lot more economy. And that's good. There we go. One knight down. That's a good move for Velez. But
it's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. Every little bit helps here, right? And maybe even a conversion. Yeah, they forced Nikov to delete that knight. Might force him to delete this knight. Nikov, what are you doing? Oh my god. That's 3 knights wasted from Nikov.
It's beautiful.
You know, can they hold this? That's the question. Velez is on the way to Imp. He has 70 villagers. Compare that to Leary's 60. And also, Velez has more numbers than Leary. So they really need to just hold against this storm that's brewing, as there's going to be a real force, a real wave of military coming from Aftermath.
But at the same time, their economies are looking good behind this. If they can get on par in terms of tech and just hold this out for now, they're going to look good, which is the classic T90 saying. They've got like 10 minutes to get in there, do the damage, and make it sit.
Yep. Well, I have a feeling that walls are going to start going down, houses are going to start going down. Some people are going to lose their homes. And Bracer, Arbalest on the way now for Leary, and quick gate from Zupi realizing the trouble's coming. And
picks the monks off. Yeah. Perfect stuff.
Leary has 14 kills, 5 deaths, and this is before he got the Imperial Age upgrades. And they're going to go right through here. They are going to go right through here. And Belize needs to hold. Zupi's on the way to Imp. Can they get there? Can they hold? They need castles. They need more units. They need prayers. I think they need the Age of Empires gods. And maybe they need the gate god. Let's see. Can Valise wall this up? He's actually out of stone, unfortunately.
Oh, no, he was so close. He had 2 villages there setting right for it. But look at this. Here we go. The cavalry are on top of the crossbows now. They've got their armor upgrade. They've got the upgrades they need in terms of basically standing on top of this right now. The Arbalest sitting behind this, just massacring these villages down. At this point, again, more sacrifices being made just to make it to the next stage in the game. And they're so close now.
Yeah, they've lost so much momentum. And Valise might be feeling good about a situation with the crossbows between the houses. But it's not going to be very good. Once Leary arrives, Leary can just whittle them down no problem. Max is getting hit, Zupi's getting hit, and Valise is getting hit. And this strategy choice, again, we said this. It's about strategy, and the strategy choice from Aftermath completely blindsiding Finland, and they are getting destroyed now because of it.
The Cavalier are starting to thin out a little bit more into the eco as well, which makes it even harder to deal with. Because you've got this Death Ball from Leary kind of cruising around the middle here. Cavalier getting in, doing the damage they can, denying the town centers. And this is where it comes into the fruition of what we were saying there earlier. Sure, Suomi, the Finland team, they did have more villagers individually. But look at this now. The villager counts are starting to plummet. Obviously still not as bad as some of the other players there. But this is where they're stuck. They've got no military to back this up now. It's just starting to roll, and we'll see if they can stop this snowball effect.
The play from Nikov and Leary, I mean, I know they're getting slung, but what they just did in the last minute was disgustingly good. Nikov had 6 different groups of Cavalier. 6 different groups split up. Leary had 3 different groups, if not 4. They're everywhere. They are everywhere. And 70 vills now for Valise. That's not going to be enough. 60 vills for Zupi. This is over.
It was a massacre towards the top north there. Again, like you were saying, Nikov just adding up his Cavalier, getting and doing the kills. And there he goes again. More of the maxes there. He's push around the back now, get even more in from there. He's up in the top. He's look at it, it's just everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They are everywhere.
It's insane, man. It's insane. 81 kills, 82 kills for Leary and 16 deaths. 85 kills to 25 deaths for Nikov. And it's not going to stop there, man. It is not going to stop there. They're hoping Valise can come back. And Valise shows up with a few Arbalests, but that is not going to be enough. It's Zupi. Well, every single Finland player is below 100 population now. What a beautiful play from the Aftermath players. That was just crazy good.
They just cut straight through the middle into the eco, and there we go, guys. This is what strategy does.
Wow, 100 kills for Leary in a 34-minute game, 24 deaths, and almost 100 kills for Nikov as well. I think it's the first time that I've seen Sling on Bedouin's 3v3. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong if people have seen this in the same event, but I believe it's the first time. And that my criticism of Aftermath has always been their strategy. It's not their individual brilliance. They have amazing individuals, but the strategy has always been what let them down at times, not only in this event, but in other events. That shows that they prepared. That shows that they had possibly, well, faith to switch it up, man. Faith to switch it up, because other people were not slinging at all on this. And man, was that successful. That was so damn good.
For every unit Leary lost, he killed 4. For every unit Nikov lost, he killed 3.
That was crazy.
This is where it's at. Efficiency, guys. This is what you want.
That was crazy. Just, it's so hard to appreciate what they did there in the Imperial Age. How they were able to split groups like that. It's because normally when you split groups, if you split up your main force, it makes all your small individual forces weaker. So you can't just do that blindly. It has to be calculated, and they were just everywhere, man. They were everywhere.
Look, and I should bring this up as well, just because the chat is, and they did hold up MBL there, who did only have, what, 3 kills.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone's coming with that. But Sling player, guys, this is what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about him completing his job, and he did fantastically with it.
MBL even built a tower on the map there just to be annoying. He played the Sling role, and that's all he needed to do, right? I mean, if every tournament had a Sling on every map, I'm pretty sure that I would be on Team Secret, because let me tell you guys, I can go for an amazing 22 pop scout build, and I can Sling. I can do that much. So, Secret, Finland, Aftermath, if you're out there and you want someone to Sling, just give me a call. I'll do it for you. No problem.
There we go, guys. The pitch is out there. You
guys can do it too, Twitch chat. You guys can do it too. That's how you can win. That's how you can be a pro. So it's funny. We see Sling a lot, and we are going to see Hideout for Game 2. There's potential for Sling in all of these games. Hideout, I'm guessing, will be a little bit more standard, but Hideout has always been an exciting map to see, man. It goes late game more often than not. There's lots of talking points, and I think we should stop talking about the potential talking points and maybe just do the game.
Talk about them. I'm not to talk about the talking points.
I'm not appreciative of the fact that someone said, how are you going to Sling with T90 farms? Come on, Wretched Harmony. I'm right here, man. I'm reading the Twitch chat. Come on, man. Just joking. You don't need to kick me while I'm already down. Okay, I know my farms have some problems. All right. It's gotten to the point, guys, where I'll be playing a game in Age of Empires 2, team game 1v1 or something, and doesn't matter the result of the game. I could win the game, team could win the game, whatever, doesn't matter. I will get a message more often than not from a viewer of mine who happens to see that I'm in a game. I'm offline, not streaming or anything, but I get a message and says, "Hey, nice farm," and it has a screenshot of it. Like, it's gotten to that point, you know, like every single time I play a game on my main account, I expect there to be spectators making fun of my farms. Like, that is their main goal of getting online, apparently.
If you want to get good at farms, this is the constant harassment. You'll have the best farm placement in the game. Give it like 6 months, and you're going to be so over it, everything's going to be meticulously perfect.
Yeah, it's a meme that I'm okay with, though. It's a meme that I'm okay with. All right, guys, let's do this. Let's do this. We have game 2. This is a hideout game between Aftermath and Finland. Aftermath got the first game in astounding fashion with great strategy, and we are now going to have to see what Finland's can do. They have stuck with their colors. However, Nikov, who played great in game 1, he's been subbed out to include Hart. So if we could get some hearts in the chat to welcome Hart to the Aftermath team, and that would be appreciated. We have Leary in the green. He's the flank. He's playing as the Britons. His pocket is MBL. MBL is playing as the Turks. And then we have Hart. He's playing as the Spanish on the other flank.
As for Suomi, we have the Max playing in the purple as the Spanish. His ally in the back there going to be Zupi in the red playing as the Mongols. And then last but not least in the orange, we have Valise playing as the Britons. And I'm seeing this kind of... This is a really interesting lumbercamp choice here from Hart. I don't know if he knew how small this woodline was, but that's really interesting to me.
It's fortunate if he ends up seeing his opponent's main gold there. That is an awful main gold position for Max, and that could easily be towered, and that would completely change the strategy for the Max. For those that aren't familiar with Hideout, Hideout is similar to Arena, where you start with walls. However, they're just palisade walls, and the big difference is, unlike Arena, instead of your wood being on the outer circle of the map, it's on the inner circle of the map, which means that players are closer together, and they have to fight for more... They have to go with more aggressive strategies. Now, the civs are different here, and Turks is a really curious pick for me, and it will be a good pocket civ, though. I wonder if there will be a lot of aggression on the flanks this time around Turkmen, because, as you know, those additional walls are always important to these players.
9 games ago as well, for those that were kind of sitting around with it, we saw a Turk player as well, and we're not sure exactly what they were going to do, whether they were going to go for a full sling, try and push that gold advantage as much as possible, whether they were going to get nice and aggressive from the get-go, and I'm interested to see how this plays out as well, because it could absolutely go either way right now, and I think kind of taking that map control like you were talking about before, getting the wall-offs in there, just pushing out a little bit early, it's kind of like what I want to see here, and it gives you a little bit of that more breathing room, and it doesn't mean people can push you quite as heavily, because I do know back before we did see a lot of walling on this map, especially to the end zone. People were doing a lot of forward castle drops back when this was like early on in the game. Yeah. And if you can get a good castle up nice and quickly, it stops anyone being able to reinforce you, and you're basically on your own.
Well, if we do see castles, it will probably be from the Spanish players early on, because Conquistadors are the strongest unit, one of the strongest units in Castle Age, and we have Max as Spanish and Hart as Spanish on the same side against one another. MBL, if he was flank, might have considered going for a castle drop of some kind on the palisade walls and then going for the Janissaries, but as pocket, since he's further away from all of that, I don't think that will be his strategy choice, at least initially. Big difference would be Turks and Mongols in late game. What do you prefer? I prefer Mongols, and I prefer Zupi as pocket. Zupi is an exceptional pocket player. He and the Max are two of the best pockets in the game, so I'm interested to see if Zupi will have the time here to get to his elite Mangadai and to all the things that Mongols offer.
I completely agree with your opinion there overall. The Mongols, they have just about an answer for everything in the game overall, plus the fact they're so mobile, that's really good for the pocket overall. It basically means you can be wherever you need to be, backing up whoever you need to be, whereas the Turks do take a lot more time to kind of move around and get kind of sorted there. That said, when they're in the middle of a push, if they're backed up by enough of their own units, they can be near impossible to stop.
Yep.
But I think in the long run here, the Mongols are going to have a little bit more of an advantage.
Well, you're definitely right. The problem with Mongols is just getting them going. You normally do not invest into a lot until late game with them, and so it's up to the flanks, the Max and the Lees, to hold and if not do damage, just not die until that time comes. And Max is going to go aggressive. He's sending 6 villagers forward, and already we see a difference in strategy. Again, strategy was the big difference maker in game 1. No feudal time for Hart. Not yet. He's going for a fast castle, and Max is going to tower rush him. He could go right through these walls, in all honesty.
Interesting. Do we know if MBL saw the villagers from the Max there that were coming through? I didn't get a chance to have a look at it.
He didn't. He didn't say anything.
Oh,
Hart has
man,
not reacted.
yes.
And look at the golds from Hart. He has 1 gold inside of his base. And that could be towered. And Max has already scouted all of this. He scouted all 3 golds. He knows that's the only one in there. And funny enough, Hart is pushing that deer. So he's not going to be here to see the tower. Okay, now he must know. But he can't stop this. Hart's going to lose access to his gold.
This is beautiful. It does not get much better than this. We've got the second tower going down as well. Max feeling nice and confident here that Hart can do nothing about it, and not even being in feudal age. What's he going to do? The towers are going up at the front. He's going to be able to push in through this nice and easily. He's denied the gold. So obviously Hart going to move back, take stone to be able to defend this, but this is perfect, an absolute perfect play.
It's actually really funny because you would think, oh, Max is going to have his gold. Max is going to have his gold. This is good. But he might not because his main gold, he doesn't know it yet, but that could be towered if he ends up going to it later on. But obviously his position is very strong, and Hart has done the correct move to wall up a little bit. And he will probably go for a defensive tower or 2 of his own once he has the opportunity. The end game for this, for both players, is to build a castle. So getting to castle age after all the aggression is going to be very, very important. And yes, there will be a tower from Hart in defense to stop Max from pushing it any further.
Awesome, and as you mentioned as well, the Spanish player here, the Max, once that castle comes up, has access to one of the strongest units in Castle Age. Ranged, quick, good amount of hit points, and just brutal damage output. If he can get a couple of those out, Hart's going to be in trouble overall, but we are still a long way away. It'll come down to, how well, I guess, Hart can kind of defend this and tie it off from the rest of his base before, I guess, it gets too gangrenous.
So, a couple other things to point out here, as those players have pretty much called a truce for now. There is an archer range for Valise. So Valise will be clicking up to castle, and he's going to make archers. I looked at Leary. Leary's not making any archers. He doesn't even have a barracks. Oh! Longbow hype! Longbow hype! He's on stone, baby! He's gonna go for longbows. Okay, I can get on board with that. So he will make archers. That's exciting. Then if you compare the pockets, you have Zupi. Zupi's out of the stable. So Zupi is looking to send some support, probably to the Max, as Max is looking fairly exposed. And MBL has not prepared a stable of his own. So that means that more aggression coming from Finland. This is very awkward for them now. Hart doesn't have any access to gold. In fact, Max is walling up the additional golds outside. And even MBL is getting towered a few times. So I like the start from Finland.
I like it.
I like it too.
It's just good. It's nice, aggressive. It's getting in. It's doing... The thing is, a lot of this is going to have late game repercussion more than it's going to have repercussion right now.
Yeah.
The wall offs around the gold, that's just going to be annoying to deal with. Forcing Hart back onto stone as well, it's going to mean he's going to have a little bit more trouble there. And looking out, we've got Leary just about up in Castle Age. Valise just about up in Castle Age. MBL, Zupi. We've got our key players getting up in there nice and early. And like you said, we've got Leary sitting here on stone at the moment. This could be longbows.
Hart's best option for gold is to chop through the wood and go to Max's. That is his best option for gold, guys. How often do you see that? That's his best plan. Play some Force Nothing, Hart, and work on your villager chopping micro, I guess. That's funny. His lumberjacks are going to need to get to work. But in all truthfulness, he could click up to castle and maybe build a castle on the 2 towers from Max and get his main gold back. But we'll see. We'll see, man. He's definitely been threatened. Hart has been threatened by Max, and Max is even threatening MBL now. I think that Max will be happy with all of this.
So the thing I'm loving as well is that Max hasn't even seen how small this is. Even if Hart overchops, he could just put a couple of scouts straight into the base or anything along there if he wanted to. That's probably the other thing that can do it. And that'd just shut the Max right down.
Max is going to see those vills there, and I believe he'll just tower that. It's just a matter of who sees who first, or who reacts first. Hart might build his tower if he sees Max's villagers. We'll keep an eye on that for you all back at home, and we'll keep an eye on the castle from Leary. Leary, we saw his micro in the last game. It's exceptional, and he's now making longbows. Problem with going for a castle is it slows down your economy, and you can't get numbers momentum, you can't get numbers master easily, and already you can see that it's become a small problem for Leary, as he can't get his TC up just yet.
So can deny that one a little bit more, but at the same time as well, gonna have a good amount of damage to do with these longbows if he can get in there, because he just doesn't have the mass at the moment. But you're exactly right, Leary's had his town center denied. We've got Zoopy sitting on 3, I believe, so he is going for a little bit more of that boom factor. We've got Valise on 2, just doing the quick scouting. And from there as well, MBL sitting on 2. And it looks like we're still waiting on the rest of our players really to kind of move up before we know too much on what they're going to do here.
Well, the towers from Max, they were good against Hart, but the problem for him is his castle time is going to be so delayed now. I think that on one hand, it's really bad because his economy's bad and they're going to fall behind in economy. But on the other hand, what does he have? He has good positioning, he has good stone walls for his team, and that's actually the case for Finland entirely. They have more map control. AM should have more economy to push all of this back. That's the problem. And Leary's micro, very good with his longbows, 8 range now. And he should pose a big threat to Valise, who only have crossbows and a few mangonels, which would just not be good enough versus the longbows.
It's so deadly. That 8 range, put it in the hands of someone with good micro as well. Not only are you going to generally win every encounter on the way in,
yep.
If you micro well behind that as well, there's no excuse really to lose most encounters here. And for someone like Leary, this is perfect. We've got the Max doing a little bit more troll gold walling around the edge of the map here overall. We have seen him wall off his side of the map here too now, so he's taken a really big chunk of the map away from AM, which is nice to see as well. And it looks like we've got that little bit of a tower wall we were kind of expecting over the main gold of the Max too.
I mean, looking towards late game, I like this for Finland because who is going to have the time? Zoopy. Who's going to have the time? Zoopy. He's going to have he has 55 villagers now, which is more than anybody else in the game. And I'm pretty certain that he will get to the point where he can make a lot of Mangatai. Max has walled up 4 gold piles from Aftermath, and he has stone walls to protect himself from the incoming conquistadors from Hart. So it might not look great now, but I think that this has given Zoopy the precious time that he needs to get to his ideal unit composition.
Absolutely. End of the day, this is all about the team strategy here. And if that's the Max kind of suffers a little bit here, to just be as annoying as physically possible towards the opponent's team, slow them down, get them away from that. The thing is, they've kept all the pressure off of Zoopy. Zoopy's been able to hang out in his happy little town, build up his massive economy, and then from there, if he gets into a good Mangadai composition overall, he can pretty much clean sweep most teams, really.
You know what's the crazy thing, though? They might be walled up on the left, but Hart could just chop through the wood here, man. He could just chop through and send conquistadors in that way. Like, that's the most vulnerable area for Finland right now. This wood line. So, I don't even know what you do. That's your main gold. I guess you have to build a castle right beyond this next to your TC. But at the moment, Max does not have the stone. So, it's going to be fun to watch, man, as these villagers chop.
Yeah, because this is our extra, I guess this is their little ace in the hole, and they know it's, like, the Finland know it's there, it's just a matter of dealing with it. And if it does get overchopped, like we were saying, a couple of conks into here, a couple of just anything, really, and this economy falls apart, they're beyond the wall, and then Zoopy's wide open as well. And Zoopy, is he still, it looks like he's going to Imperial soon, just because he's got the monastery out, but he hasn't committed into any kind of military whatsoever at the moment. Well,
he had a few knights, but that has not done much. He's looping around now beside Hart's base, and I believe he's sending the knights there to kill the conquistadors. Why? Because the conquistadors are about to get through. The petard is there, and that petard is going to be just enough to let these conquistadors through. And this is not ideal for Finland. Now, again, they're waiting for Zoopy to get to Mangadai production. He doesn't even have a castle yet. It takes so much time to get to those elite Mangadai. And this is great for Aftermath because they've been pushing back on both sides slightly. Leary's had good micro against Valise, as Valise is starting to stonewall. And Hart has done a great job here, towering the Max, cutting through to the max now and busting through with his Conquistadors.
So probably the player we've played the least attention to at the moment right now, MBL, on his way to Imperial already. He is surpassing Zupi in terms of tech, in how fast that's going to work. A little bit behind in terms of villages, but end of the day, AM's going to have their Imperial-based player here as well. So it's not like Zupi's just going to come in and absolutely massacre everyone. And MBL, as Turks, if he can get like a roll going, this is what Turks live for.
It's... On paper, it excites you because he'll be up to Imp first, but he's 20 vills behind Zupi. So when you click up to Imp this early, you sacrifice a lot. I guess it depends on how much damage he can do here, right? He's getting chain barding. Seems like his resources are pretty solid. And I assume he'll be going for something like Cavalier. And maybe the plan is to then help out Leary versus Valise on this right-hand side. Leary's micro's been really good against these Mangonels, man. I don't think the Mangonels have killed a single Longbow.
I'm just cruising there looking for bodies, and I can't even see them, which is phenomenal. This is what we expect.
There's a few, but I believe it's probably from the crossbows, so... Great job. And Hart has not been able to push, by the way, because Zupi has helped. And Zupi probably has one castle now. He does, and he'll be clicking up to Imp. He'll be clicking up to Imp. The trade positions are much, much better for Finland's currently. They have their walls up. They have held, and this is what they wanted. This is why Max sacrificed himself for the team early on. They wanted to be in this position, and they've done that. Big problems on the right, though.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Because you've got Valise who's kind of come forward. A lot of crossbows there. Leary's been able to hold that one. Siege Workshop down from MBL now, so it looks like they're looking at getting the push kind of going here overall. Just waiting on MBL's heavy camels, so they're going to have some bulk behind, or I should say in front of these longbows now. Ballistics for Leary going down. Imperial on the way for him as well. It's looking good, I would say. They don't have a star player at the moment, but everyone's kind of doing what they need to. And how close are we? Looks like the chop through might have stopped.
It chopped through with Hart? Yeah, I don't think he's concerned with that. He probably knows that there's TCs there. It does suck for Max, though. Imagine if he had his gold, man. I mean, that's really unfortunate for him. But it'll be all on Valise now to hold, as he's on his way to Imp, and it's on Zupi to get this Mangazai out, man. He has 2 castles now. I mean, it snowballs from here, right? He'll probably have a 3rd soon. Just has to prioritize the correct side, and on one hand he could go kill Hart, but on the other hand, if he doesn't help against Leary and MBL on the right hand side, then Valise will be in trouble. And that's what's happening. MBL is here, Leary is here, Valise, he's going to be 2v1'd.
That's the thing, where do you commit your army? We've got the bombard cannons out now for MBL, so he's going to be able to kind of do a little bit of sneaky micro versus these Mangonels. Not that he needs to, because of the range on these longbowmen. They're at 10 now. Like, this just makes it easy for Leary. But these buildings are going to get taken out very, very quickly. The bombard cannon's going to help back this up. And what are we looking? The heavy camels are there as well, mixed in with some hussar too.
Yep. It's actually 11 range, sorry, for these elite longbows.
Oh, another one. There we go.
And the bombard cannons will now pressure Valise's castle, and this is not good for Valise, man. That's a lot of longbows. They're already elite. That's a 32-minute elite longbow time. And it's just Zupi. Where is Zupi? Well, Zupi's been pushing on the other side. That's... it's probably not good enough. It's probably not good. Hart then needs to wall up, I think. And he hasn't actually done that for AM, but... he's being enough of a distraction right now.
Ooh, that was a hit on those longbows. A lot of health loss there. Not too many longbows. Zupi looks like they're all kind of utilizing the market now. Hart on it. They're going to be pretty much... I was going to say the last one there, but Valise doesn't look like... oh, wait, no, don't worry. I just updated. All good. All good.
Yeah. Yep, he's in the Imperial Age getting Arbalest, but he's lost a lot of his numbers. There's a few juicy bombard cannon shots from MBL. And MBL has a lot of these bombard cannons. He's not messing around. He has 4 already. It does need to be very careful because Valise sees him and MBL loses one. But this is where it all starts, and I'm just waiting again for Zupi, who's still... this is how difficult it is to get to Elite Mangatai. Still lacking upgrades, still lacking numbers. He hasn't chosen a side yet.
Oh man, it stresses me out for them overall, because Turks, once they get rolling, they're really hard to stop. Even as like a full upgrade of like Mongol play, you can't just push into it. So right now, if these bombard cannons can get in, if they can do the damage to Valise when basically, I guess Zupi's not there to support, it's basically going to turn this into a 2v3 straight away.
Really smart walls from Hart. Very smart walls. I love it. I love it. He needs to do that. We've seen players forget to do that and then regret it later on when Mangadai sneak in. You know, I think, just talking about the civs briefly again, I think that the AM civs are better for this stage of the game. Early Imperial, it's better. But Mangadai, I think Mongols and Britons are so much stronger than Britons and Turks once both are fully boomed. Like, Turks, they have the bombard towers, which is nice. They have the bombard cannons. But bombard cannons just don't survive once Siege Ram comes into the equation. They do not survive once Mangadai get massed. And so I'm a little bit worried for Aftermath, actually, because they are not really pushing, and Valise somehow hasn't lost his castle, somehow hasn't lost his position, and now look at the red on the map. Who's coming? Valise. He's coming with Light Cav, he's coming with Mangadai, and they could push this back, potentially.
That's it. The Turks have not had a chance to kind of solidify in yet. They haven't really taken their ground, haven't got their bombard towers up behind it. That's when they become really hard to push in against.
Yep.
But right now, the Mangadai, they are going to be able to start cutting through this. If Valise gets involved here as well with the Arbalest, they're going to be in a good situation.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Remember those vills from Max?
What's going on in the back here?
The initial tower vills. Well, surprise, buddy. You've got some pointy boys in the back of your base, Hart. This is going to be interesting because this is the time where teams are starting to trade. And Max has castles there. He's going to halb and siege push in the back of Aftermath's base.
This is good. This is really smart. I like it. He's going to deny the trade there for a bit. The Cavalier are going to have trouble pushing in against the Pikes. This is really good.
Yeah, meanwhile, poor Max can't take his main gold. MBL sent a bombard cannon there. I have to give credit to Max, though, for somehow rebooming after pretty much sacrificing his early economy to get where they are now as a team. And oh my god, this fight on the other side. MBL's losing his bombard cannons. There's Hussars and Mangadai for Zupi. They should clean this up. I think these longbows should die. Very hard to judge. But the longbows are not utilizing their range as they would ideally be doing.
That's it. Hussars swarming on top of them.
Longbows are just weak, man. They're so slow. You have to slowly push. Problem is you can't run. And the Mangadai come in, and Finland, they're in a great position now. They're going to surprise the Aftermath team in the back of their base, and they're going to clean up everything on this right-hand side.
This is beautiful. This is what you want to see from a Mongol player. Sure, he took a little bit more time to get here, but the push hadn't stabilized yet for AM. And look at this. Look at the longbows just getting massacred. They can't get out of there. And this is the mobility we were talking about.
This is the brilliant thing about it. Hart's probably telling his team, like, listen, we're walled, okay? We're walled. We have trade. I'm going to go Paladin, and we're going to kill all. But who's here? Max. Max shows up with Halberdiers, the exact counter to the Paladins. He's blocking off the trade. He's even building towers there, a wonderful considered guard tower or something. Like, this strategy from Max, as I said, they put them in such a strong position once the Imperial Age came around, and everything is looking good for the Windlands team now. And crazy plays from them.
And everyone was doubting the Max. Look at what he's set them up here, guys. Come on, this has been beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The longbows doing their best to kind of try and hold here. The bombard tower is going to be pretty decent as well. But in come the trebuchets. Valise is there. Look at it. We've got the oh man, we got Mangadai. Behind the Mangadai, we have the siege rams. They're going to be able to push in as well.
Yep.
And this is what we want to see, guys. This is how it rolls.
Even if the push from Max stops, even if he deletes all of his halbs and his buildings now, which he obviously won't, they will still have a significant lead. Because look at the trade numbers for Finland's. Like, all of this distracting that Max has done has kept his opponents off gold. It has kept his opponent from trading. And now, as a team, Max has more trade. Zupi has more trade. Valise has more trade. And now Max is going to go Paladin. He's getting Cavalier, so he's just going to start making Paladin like you would normally see. And look at these siege rams, these Ferrari siege rams from Zupi.
Look at them go. The speed on those boys is beautiful.
And say goodbye to the towers. And now there's no help from MBL. These... Oh, we got a siege tower. MBL, that's going to help you, buddy. And maybe some villagers are going to hop in the siege tower and run away from here because this is like a special version of hell for any villagers that are around here. These castles don't stand a chance. There's no counter to siege rams here. A few hussars, but that's not going to be enough. Britons can't stop siege rams.
This happened just so quickly, too. So quickly. The speed on these rams at the moment being able to move. They're not delayed. It's just castle after castle, tower after after tower. It's a massacre at this point. There's nothing stopping these guys.
Look at these trade carts, man, running away from the house. They couldn't even go to the market. That's so funny that Leary just micro trade carts away from the halves. He has forgotten about them now, so he's gonna lose some. Just freaking ridiculous, man. But
Leary was like the only one with trade too.
that obviously is not the biggest deal for them. The biggest deal is the fact that Leary and MBL are getting pushed, and there's seemingly no response to this. Hart arrives now with Paladin on this side. Of course, he doesn't have a lot of trade going to really sustain more Paladin production, but he is here, as is MBL with camels, so they can finally kill the rams. But Paladins for Max on the other side. More halves. Look at the trade. Leary's going for it. He's trying to get some gold.
Gotta make the return, man. You gotta get the return.
What a play from Max, man. What a cool strategy. Like, I'm impressed, but I also just, beyond being impressed, I just think that's cool. Like, you know, it's just awesome to see something so different. The way that has worked out, the way they've strategized. Yeah. But they do need to be careful, Finlands. They need to be very, very careful because they don't have any melee units on this side now. It's just a bunch of ranged units. And now that Hart and MBL arrive, they're acting as a great melee meat shield for those longbows that Leary still has. MBL is also building bombard towers in the trade line, and they're slowly pushing Max back, so maybe they can hold on here and get their trade up and running.
Oh man, it's one of those things where I always feel like the damage has been done. But end of the day here, they've pushed the Mangadai back a bit. The Paladins are really helping out here because they're obviously just soaking up so much of the damage, like you said. But end of the day, I just think there's going to be too much mobility here from the Mangadai.
We are seeing Yeoman from Valise. Yeoman is a unique tech for Britons you rarely see, but it is another stubborn technology, another technology that makes it very difficult for the opposing team to push against you. And I am getting really tense now because, well, the longbows from Leary could get destroyed, man. Yeoman, it's like a siege onager trebuchet, essentially. It could be on the way here. Could be on the way.
I like it. I know exactly the tech you're talking about. And if this starts to hit, this is going to be brutal. Like, adding that extra blast radius is going to be great.
Max needs to get Paladins on the right-hand side, because they lack a melee unit. And so Max is now researching Paladin and building stables there, which is a great decision. Max will probably understand his little base inside Aftermath's base is going to die soon. Oh, please, use the trebs on the longbows. Use the trebs on the longbows. I just want to see one shot. The longbows are running away, and probably a wise move to kill those towers.
This is where it's at.
Wait, did I say... Oh, God. I made a big mistake. I said... Oh, God. Twitch chat. We're going to have to edit this out. Dude, I said Yeoman. It's not Yeoman. Yeoman is the extra range, man. Yeoman is the extra range.
Werewolf.
Werewolf.
I know, and I backed you up. We were going to forget about it. We were going to let it ride, man. Backed you up. And you decided to call attention to it.
That... I think that's going to go on one of my top 5 failed lists right there. It took me a full 5 minutes to realize that. I was just so in the zone, man. Well, I want to see Werewolf, too. I want to see... I appreciate that, man. I want to see Werewolf, too. I was like, why is Twitch chat being so judgmental today? They're so rude. And then, whoops. But anyway, as Zupi's getting Siege Onager, I do know that can give us some big kills. And Max is going to incorporate Paladins on this side, as we said. And oh, wow. You know what? Hart has chopped through. And Hart is actually into Max's eco. Which is that one entryway that Finland didn't really think of.
What's also interesting from there, the Max and Zufi's base is overchopped as well.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter in the end, right? It doesn't matter in the end because and Leary's about to die. A great strategy from the Max, and subpar casting from myself, but don't worry, I'll get over it.
It was fine, they had it anyway.
Yeah.
Technically, it was all accurate.
Correct, yes, we didn't even need it, okay? Again, like, when I saw the towers initially, I was thinking, okay, Max is going too aggressive with them. I think his economy's not going to be great at home, but it was all about giving Zupi and giving Valise advantages to get the trade up earlier and to get the units massed earlier. And Max might not have the score lead in this game. It was obviously Zupi that carried this, but Max played an integral part in the success that Finland had here in Game 2. This has been an exciting series, and we've only seen 2 games, but in Game 1, Aftermath won with a really strong strategy, and Game 2, we saw a great strategy from Finland. So it wasn't necessarily people doing the same strategy and just seeing who executes better. It was about great execution, but it was also about the great strategy, and I am excited. I'm very excited to see Game 3 now.
It's absolutely beautiful in terms of what we've been seeing here. And this is what we were saying has really been lacking from a couple of the teams in this tournament overall. They didn't have kind of the team strategy between it overall. And this is where I get really excited, because these are strong teams. The players on this are phenomenal. And to see them kind of embrace this different style of strategy as well, this is where the victors are at. This is where the games get won. And this is where things get really, really interesting.
Well, we will have Sling the Indians next. I mean Dry River, I'm sorry. I got it wrong. Every single Dry River game that I have seen has included Slinging the Indians. So I'm just going to take a wild guess that we are going to have Saracens, Indians, Huns, and probably a lot of slingage. And for those that have not seen this, maybe just joined or something, sling is when you send resources to an ally. And I did just say that the first 2 games were just different strategies. I think we'll see the same strategy, and it come down to execution for Game 3.
I'm all about it, and I hope we see something different, but I have more than a feeling you're going to be exactly right.
Yeah.
And we're going to see 2 players duking it out and see who can basically just be choosing the better engagements, choosing the better kind of little crannies to get into and do the damage, really.
Well, we're talking about competitive Age of Empires, right? So from a competitive standpoint, it's not a bad thing to see who can execute the best strategy, or who can execute the same strategy, right? I think a lot of... I'm not going to pretend to know what other RTS scenes are like. As most of you know, I'm an Age of Empires only guy, but I know there are some RTS games where they literally do the same thing at all times. There's not as much variety, but people appreciate it because that execution just separates the best from the best.
Exactly. And being able to pull that off, even if you look at it, the same thing versus same thing.
Yeah.
Literally all these little differences are what's going to make you a winner overall. If you can take every kind of opportunity, grip it and rip it and roll with it, that's where it becomes different.
Yep. Well, we have just a minute or 2 to wait until we get into Game 3, guys. After Game 3, we will for sure see a Game 4. So if you guys like your water maps, we'll have Mediterranean. And potentially a Game 5 on Oasis, which would be exciting.
I like it. I like it a lot. We get to mix things up a little bit here. I think this is the first, well, in fact, I know this is the first water map we've had today, so that makes things really easy on that front, and hopefully we get to see something a little different there as well.
Yep. Yeah, in chat, I see, I figured it out, okay? I got it. Yeoman is the extra range on Britain archers. What's embarrassing is that I obviously know that. I was just so in the zone with casting, you know, I misspoke, but...
I would rather have you in the zone. I would rather have you there.
The good thing about doing this as long as I've done it now is I've made a lot of mistakes, so I have thick skin, except when it comes to my farms. I will admit. Farms can get me sometimes, but for the most part, you know, when I make mistakes, I can laugh it off, and we are going to laugh it off.
And that's what all the memes are building you up to.
Yeah. We're going to have a T90 Yeoman emote next. I'm kind of scared. All right, guys, welcome to game number 3 between Aftermath and Finland. Game 1 and Game 2 were exceptional games, and Game 3 will be no different. We do have another substitution and some color changes here, so I'm going to start with Aftermath and introduce them. Then I'm going to pass it along to my co-caster, Barbecue Turkman, to do the rest. We have Hart in the teal. He's the flank, playing as the Huns. The pocket in the blue is Indians for Nikov. And then the green, we have Byzantines? Yeah, we have Byzantines for Leary, which is an interesting pick.
Awesome. And for Finland, we have the Max in the purple playing as the Indians, which was quite expected, I would say. In the yellow, we have Rubenstock playing as the Saracens. And last but not least, Valise in the orange playing as the Huns. I think you got this team pretty much bang on correct with the Civ picks.
Yeah. I am going to bet my house that we see slingage involving Indians. Okay, I'm betting my entire house to all of you. And if I end up getting it wrong, then all of the viewers here get bits and pieces of the house. So you might just get like half a square foot or something. I don't know how that...
No, you got like a really nice lamp I can have.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is I don't have a house. So if they end up not slinging, then I can just be like, haha, tricked you. But don't worry, we're going to see it. We're going to see it.
Hedge the bets.
And if we're going to see a sling, this becomes very interesting because the Indian players are in different locations. Nikov's pocket, so he's at the center of his team, which means he can easily range anyone on the enemy team, easily help any of his allies. And then you have the Max, and the Max is flank, so he's far away from Belize on the other side. He's far away from Hart on the other side. And that right there could be the difference. That means that I would say Finland's at a slight disadvantage, just simply because of their positions.
Yes.
Nikov lost one vill. I was just about to touch on that. Did he lose 2 villagers? Oh, he lost 2 villagers. Wow. So all the Finland's players showed up there. There's one next to the mill, and there's one to the north of the mill.
Alright, cool. To the north of the mill. Cool. Yeah, that was the one I was missing. Awesome.
She's protecting her husband's carcass so they could take it to the funeral procession later. But,
Rip.
F's in the chat. That was excellent start for Finland then. To kill 2 enemy villagers like that. They obviously communicated. Yeah.
This is brutal. I think they know as well at this point as well. Nikov's been playing amazing. He has been like a standout from the entire tournament. And if they kind of get in on him and do the damage now, especially the fact he's playing Indians as well, it's going to delay a little bit of what he's going to be able to accomplish, I guess.
Yep. All right, my friends. Well, Rubenstock. You know, Rubenstock is a great player. I should point out that he's been subbed in here. He is a great deathmatch player. He's a great player when it comes down to late game strategies. This is very much not late game, right? It's very open. Let's see what time he clicks up. There's been differences in the sling, Turkman. We've had teams that would make scouts and then sling. We've had teams that would straight up sling. And every single time, the team that would go for the straight up sling would win. So eyes on him, eyes on, I don't know, maybe Hart or Leary. I'm not sure who will do what. If the sling is coming in, we'll have to know the timings of it, so it puts some pressure on us as a caster to watch for it.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out and see kind of what I can see there. Who have you got selected, Viewpoint, or are you changing between?
I change constantly, yeah. So, by the way, I'm not sure if you're aware of this. If you hold shift and click a unit or a building for a player, it changes to that player's point of view.
Nice.
So I think I've heard
I did not know that. This is going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I think I've heard you hitting the plus and the minus key on the keyboard to switch player point of views, but yeah, that's in the past, man. Because of user patch, we have that other feature which can really help us.
Beautiful.
It's
beautiful.
And to the people who are watching me cast as well, you have to be mindful of that because I'm constantly changing positions just by clicking units, and that will of course show on the bottom left there.
Easy as. Alright, let's have a look at the map and see what everyone's up to. It looks like everyone has moved out into the kind of center of the map there. We are seeing some militia being built for Hart, so he is going to go for a little bit of a drush here. Kind of push out across that one. Wouldn't be surprised to see man-at-arms from him at the moment, especially considering the fact he's on gold already.
Yep.
Leary, he's got a barracks up towards the center there as well. Not sure exactly if he's going to kind of do too much with it, but moving forward with 2 villages as well. Nikov, again, barracks is up, looking like he's going to try and attempt something here. But looking over to the opponents at the moment, it looks like we're only seeing 1 barracks really up, and the second one only getting thrown up now by Valise.
I don't think we're seeing a sling from Aftermath. I think Leary will go forward with spears. He'll build 2 ranges and go trash. Okay, there's the first range. And Max is probably going to receive sling from Rubenstock, who's building the market, and he is. So, different strategy. Again, Aftermath, they won game 1 with sling. There's been a lot of sling on this. They're not slinging, while Finland is slinging Max. Max is receiving resources. He'll make a few scouts, and he will be up to Castle Age before you know it. But I guess the strategy choice from AM revolves around expecting the sling, and Leary will just go for full trash. He'll go with Byzantine spears, Byzantine skirms, and hope that he can keep Max back. But I don't know, man. We've seen the person being slung lose 5, 6, 7 villagers in the past, and they still end up coming back, right? So they're gonna have to do an awful lot of damage here.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the thing we were talking about before as well. We're looking for someone that's going to have a solution to this problem, which is the Indians get slung, and then from there, you just can't deal with them.
Yep.
Whether or not this is going to be the solution, we don't know, but you need to get in there, man. We need more damage. But the max, 13-minute castle time.
It's so ridiculous.
What is this madness?
It's so
What
ridiculous.
is this madness?
But for now, AM have done a great job, and on the other side, we haven't talked about it much. Hart with his man-at-arms has forced Veliz into a tower. He's now going to build his own tower, and so he's getting some forward pressure. Veliz would just be massing archers, and it's very important to keep an eye on Hart and to keep an eye on Veliz, as they'll probably be making archers long-term. But back to Max's base, Turkman. He will be in Castle Age. He has honestly done okay here. He maybe lost 1. Yeah, he's lost 1, maybe 2 vills. But loses another one. The question, we just don't know yet. Is this enough damage for Aftermath? Is this enough damage? Because Max is going to really turn on the speed here and the strength with his camels.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact he's getting the sling behind this as well means even if his villagers are getting harassed a little bit, he's not going to be, too worried about it. That's probably the big thing here. Obviously, it doesn't help, but it's not like he's dead in the water.
Look at this Vill. He's trying to drop off that food. Ouch. That hurt. I think Leary, and I really appreciate the dead in the water unintentional pun because we're talking about ponds. but Leary has denied some of the pawns from Max, and that's a big reason Indians are strong on this, because they can use the pawns. And now Nikov and now Leary, they're over to Rubenstock, and Rubenstock has 5 villagers here, which are kind of trapped as well. So they've done a good job to get that map control, but Max, you see the purple on the map now. He's using his scouts. He'll be using his camels. He can make a lot of these things, and he could actually clean all of this up and keep Rubenstock's vills alive.
There you go. It's totally possible. We do have a market getting thrown up by Hart now, so he might be kind of transitioning to Sling here.
I think they
Not
need
sure
to.
exactly, but I think exactly the same thing. We need to get Nikov into the fight here. We need to get him up into Castle Age, get basically the composition out to be able to deal with this.
Might not be a
Because
full-on
obviously
Sling.
the max in power.
Yeah, I think maybe we'll see Hart send his food to Nikov, because Nikov might be missing, or might be wanting food. Aftermath just killed 5 vills from Rubenstock. Rubenstock has no way to defend himself, except with a few walls. So that's a great start for Aftermath. Just always that fear that Max is going to get the ball rolling, and they won't be able to stop him. So they either need to do more, or they need to get Nikov to Castle Age. Unfortunately, Nikov is on the way up now.
Yeah, it's perfect. He has a lot of had a lot of food in the bank before he did that, so he's not feeling too bad about this one now, which is nice. Yeah. Looks like, though, that I'm worried about Max is going to have probably the run of the game for about the next 2 minutes here.
Yep.
So seeing if he can do some damage, kind of make this time worth it, then he'll be in a good spot. Otherwise, AM's strategy choices just been awesome. It's really worked out for them, if they can hold it off.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know who's going to win this game yet, obviously, but I will say that AM have done a great job considering how dominant the Sling can be. But, oh, the Croc's going to get a kill! The Croc is going to get a kill! That's hilarious! Oh, Nikov loses a villager to the crocodile. Well, I'm known for my T90 Woo emote, and I see that out there. There's no croc emote out there, but I don't know what noises crocodiles make, so I won't say woo woo woo, but that's always funny to see. But anyway, Veliz and Leary are kind of fighting here, and I think Nikov has obviously taken some losses and fallen behind, and meanwhile Max is just all over the place, bro. He's all over the place.
I think it's exactly what we're expecting to. The earlier that Sling comes in, the more, well, I guess the quicker you get into kind of this dominant position.
Oh,
and Nikov's
God.
still not even at Castle Age.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just got freaked out because that gate opens. Hart opened his gate, but there's only 2 camels there anyway. Hart will be in Castle Age, so again, this is the difference. They'll have 2 people in Castle Age Aftermath. Nikov has done a good job considering he wasn't receiving any sling, but he's kind of being overrun now by the Max. And the Max's Vil count is just getting higher and higher and higher now. He has TCs and everything. And I fear that Max will be in such a strong position that it'll be tough for AM to come back. Maybe Hart with his big ball of archers can do something for his team.
Fingers crossed, man, 'cause I don't want to see this just turn into another run over. I want to see this turn into a messy brutality of a match. And look, it's definitely possible. We've got Nikov on the double stable now. He's got his camels out in play. He's got some extra armor going on. Like, he's got stuff he needs to kind of make this happen now. And hopefully he can get in there, hold out in the Max, push him back a little bit. And then we're going to kind of see this duked out like we want to.
The more that I look at this, the more that this is maybe possible for AM. Byzantines was a pick. I think it's the first time we've seen Byzantines picked on this map by these teams.
Yeah.
And it's a pick that has really worked out. Like, look at this. Leary's even killing the goats from Max. But he has so many spearmen, so many feudal age spearmen, that he's been able to really pressure and no one can address him, right? So I believe now Leary will soon click up to Castle Age. If he could just make spears on spears and spears, maybe with the pointy boys, he'll be able to keep Max back. Here comes Hart, and here comes Nikov. They're going right towards Valise, and they could go right towards Rubenstock. This means Max is needed more now than ever.
Absolutely, and the Max really can't find somewhere to kind of get in now, because the amount of trash in play from Leary.
Crazy.
Like, even if you look back to his pawns, there's so many spears there, he can't take an engagement.
Yeah. I think for the first time, we might see Indians make something other than camels just to deal with those pikemen. And Lees took a few losses here. He's only halfway to castle now. He's going to lose more villagers if Hart reacts. Yeah, Hart should have killed those vills. That's a bit of a mistake, but he'll get one.
This is beautiful. I'm loving seeing this play out a little bit differently right now.
Yeah.
Especially considering Valise, Rubenstock, both stuck in feudal. Obviously, we have MBL up into castle. They're really going to kind of be able to make a little bit of a difference. He does have the unit composition change here that we need as well. But here comes in the Max. Will he be able to clean this up? In comes Valise as well. They've got the crossbows trapped.
Yeah, they also have the tower there. Interestingly enough, Max didn't have enough upgrades. He didn't have near as many upgrades as Nikov. But he didn't need them. He just had numbers. I wonder if Valise should send his archers to the left. Is that where he's going now? Is he going to send archers to kill the pikes? Is that the play
I hope
here?
so. If that was the play, it'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, it's kind of risky because Leary could always go elite skirm too. But I'm thinking they need a big answer to Leary's trash because he has 52 military units. This guy's not messing around.
Absolutely. And the thing is as well, if he keeps these guys together, it means he can't just use the pikes basically just to clump in.
Yeah.
We have had the transition from Hart now into cavalry archers. Going to get a little bit of momentum behind this now. We'll be able to do some hit and run style attacks, which is kind of what we need, especially considering I don't think Valise is even entirely walled yet.
I just wonder if it's been enough here. It seems like AM have found the secret ingredient to kill the sling on this map. They did not sling one single bit of resource, as far as I know, and they now have the lead. Big problem is that the Max has 70 vills, but they've kept Max back, they've kept Valise back, and I think Leary, with Byzantines, could actually go up to the Imperial Age before you know it. He just needs a little bit of food and gold, and he could click up and then go Halberdiers, which would completely kill Max.
I like it. I like the idea behind it.
I do
and
too.
I really like exactly what can be done here. It's just about... that's the thing. I can see them getting there at the moment too. The Max hasn't been able to... Like, I was getting worried there for a sec, but I've just thought about it, and the Max really hasn't been able to do anything throughout this entire game. Sure, he's been able to run in, get the hit and run attack here, but he hasn't been able to get into the economy. He hasn't been able to do the actual damage here.
I think that the normal thing I bring up when we're talking Byzantines versus Indians is that Indians in this situation have mobility. And Max has not been in positions to use his mobility. I don't know if that's because of he doesn't feel comfortable leaving or something, but he's never hit the base beyond the shorefish for Aftermath. And I think that if he was attacking Leary, let's say this was a 1v1, he could hit all the wood lines, hit the golds, and use his mobility. But Leary has kept this very compact, and he's made sure that anywhere that Max goes, he finds pikemen. And here come the rams from Leary. He's going to start pushing.
Man, I hope he managed to get some kind of momentum there. Sadly, did just lose a whole bunch of pikemen over in the Max's base there. Set on stand ground to a couple of mango.
Oh, God.
That did just open up. Yeah, it was a massacre. But basically, that's opened up all the skirmishes to be taken out by the camels now. It's going to put a little bit of a dent in his army count. That said, though, it's by the trash. It's fine. This is replaceable.
Yeah, it is replaceable. It's very cheap. I mean, I'm sure those skirmishers and pikemen aren't... If they were listening to the cast, they probably wouldn't be very happy to hear that we think they're replaceable and cheap. But that's the reality of war. Sorry, Pikes. Sorry, Skirms. And oh god, Max can take a huge fight here. Nikov is here as well. Man, this is a close game. I think Max is going to click up to Imp, man. I think Max is going to click up to Imp. And Leary, he's stalled out a little bit, hasn't he?
He has. He's really got caught by this one. The fact he lost all his momentum behind this, he doesn't have the units like he used to on the field at the moment. In fact, he's still got quite a low pop overall compared to pretty much everyone else on the game at the moment, apart from maybe Valise and Nikov, just because Nikov's been losing a hell of a lot of units this entire game.
Yeah.
Not because... It was just because he's had to. He's had to take the engagements.
That engagement from Max, though, was awful. Why did he fight there? He fought pikemen when he could have waited for his opponent, his allies' crossbows. And he also fought camels and crossbows on this side. So I think this is AM's opportunity. They probably realize that Max has got to be nearing the Imperial Age. So they have to chew up his numbers. And here comes Hart, here comes Leary, here comes Nikov. They're all converging on the Max. The best player, in my opinion, on Finland's. And this is not something that Max can fight right now. This is not something that Valise can fight right now. They just need to wait.
Exactly, and if they can get the momentum here, get the push behind it, I guess that's exactly what the battering rams are for here from Leary. Basically, the whole idea is they're going to have to fight here. Yep. And basically, it's poke, prod, chew those numbers down like you were saying, make sure the Imperial isn't going to matter too much. But Nikov, he's got food, he just got no gold to get up to Imperial himself. Yeah,
it's crazy just how it's been Max and Valise and they're still alive in this game. It's crazy, it's all because of the Sling. Ruben Stock's just been sending resources, he's still in feudal. But I'll tell you what, the timing on this from Aftermath, insanely good. They're chewing up Max's camels at the appropriate time. They're killing the TC, they're killing villagers, and Max is sitting at 12 military. Upgrading 12 military is not going to be enough for them to win this game.
This is actually this is about as good as it could have gone as well. Yeah. And it looks like they're going to get maybe the other town center here going to get denied as well behind this. The Pike's just working as such a good bulk to really kind of take up the damage and dish out so much damage to those camels. Here we go. They know they need to keep the pressure on here. The Max is Imperial.
That push was insane, and that could be the game-winning push. It has bought Hart time to now go up to the Imperial Age himself. Valise is losing most of his crossbows. Max, he's getting heavy camel, but he only has 15 or 14 of them. And now Nikov is on the way to Imp, so Aftermath have had all this time. So much aggression, this is insanity. How have they done it?
With the cavalry archers as well now.
Oh
this is beautiful. God, this is exactly it. If they can hold it, till they get in 2 Imperial players, so self-sustaining Imperial players. This is where it's at, guys.
And Leary will probably click up to the Imperial Age himself, so his Sling makes it a 2v3 for a while, but this could actually be a 3v1 in a moment. Aftermath having the 3. But let's not call it too early, right? Because this would now be the time for Max to utilize his upgrades. Insane Pierce Armor on these camels. Insane Pierce Armor. And that's a lot of them. And he's still receiving Sling. Let's see.
Hart, why'd you micro on top of them? Hart! Get out of there.
Hart tries to back up, as he probably should. Leary's using his pikemen as he should as well. But I think that Hart and Nikov need to be very careful with their numbers. They need to make sure that their numbers stay alive. And this game really could not be closer, because I think Max has so much momentum now that he's going to have 30, 40, 50 camels soon.
I agree. Wow. I agree. I like the way Leary is basically sitting here as well, just acting as the bulk force, making sure the Max can't move out, but it means that both Nikov and Hart can keep their units safe for the moment while they need them. And it looks like trying to get a little bit of raiding happening, but honestly, I think the team walls are up now as well, so not going to really do too much help with there. But cavalry archers moving in, you've got a couple of camels moving in. But here we go. Nikov's about to hit Imperial, and this is what's going to matter. Hart's Imperial.
Oh, God. Hart's killing that whole wood line of Valise as well. This is definitely a do-or-die situation for Finland. Certainly a do-or-die situation. They need Max to kill somebody now, because Valise is behind Hart big time. He Nikov is doing well for Aftermath. He has his heavy camel upgrade coming in, and Leary's been doing well.
The pond in the middle as well. Hearts on it again, just taking out every villager he can.
This has been a crazy performance from Hart. Really strong play from him. Strong KD, considering that they've been against the Sling, Nikov and Hart, and Lyria. Just the whole team has been solid. Where's Max gonna hit, man? He needs to hit somebody, like, now.
Just what's happening to Valise? He's fallen apart. Rubenstock can't really even contribute much at the moment as well. Like we were saying, we've got 2 players right now that are basically self-sustaining. Heavy Camel about to finish up for Nikov. He's got the upgrades he needs behind this as well. And Nikov's basically going to be able to start going head-to-head with the Max here. And then behind that as well, you're going to have Hart to back him up.
Yeah, and the reality is, this is not something that Max can fight, but he kind of needs to. Maybe
look at the
Imperial
numbers.
Camel will save him. You know, he's pulling back again. Maybe he's hoping he'll get a faster Imperial Camel, and that he could just brute force his way to victory. But it's
with Imperial Camel, it's possible. It is possible. They are a beefy unit. The only thing I'm worried about is, like, the upgrades are obviously happening here for pretty much all of AM. Man, look at that swarm of camel. That is a lot of camels.
If there's any team that's still going to win this, man, it's Finland. I'm saying that as if I feel like they're really far behind, and they're still in this, but they are behind, and it's really just been Max. Valise, he's trying to help, but he's so far behind with only 6 military. But one thing Finland like to do in this situation is trade early, and Max is already starting with the trade. So perhaps if they trade early, they'll be good. Did I not see that Nikov had Imperial Camel on the way? Did that not show up?
Yep, that happened, and he's running off like 7 stables. He is just absolutely playing an amazing game here.
I didn't see it on the overlay, so that changes everything. Had I known, I would say that Aftermath are probably going to take this fight and win the fight. We have 50 military for Max, but 60 plus for Nikov, and that surely means that AM are going to take this now.
And there's Leary, Imperial as well.
Yep, Halberdier upgrade on the way. It is a party, man. Now that fight was actually really weird at the start for Nikov, but he has so many numbers coming in. Oh, he's actually on top of Elise at the moment. They're going to be on top of Rubenstock soon, who's still in feudal age.
This is how it's done. He's got the numbers over there to basically hold the Max back. So he's decided to kind of spread out as well, make sure everyone's dying off. And that's it.
Wow, dude. That is the first time that this Sling has been beaten on this map. And again, this gets me excited, man, because there's a lot of Aftermath fans out there. I'm one of them. They're an amazing team with individual talent, but it's just been the teamwork and the strategy. And these strategies have been damn good. They've been super good. That's the first time that we've seen someone beat the Sling, especially considering that in the quarterfinals, it was Finland's versus Secret, and Viper and Co. got wrecked by the strategy that Max just tried and failed with. That's something to think about right there. Secret couldn't beat this, but Aftermath did.
This is great. This is literally the thing that AM needed. If they have their strategy together, which looking at this as well, this is fantastic. This is where they're really going to kind of step into their own stride. And I think with players like they have and strategy like they're using now, they can go all the way. It's a big climb for them, but they can do it.
Someone says, T90, I like your house now. Well, hate to tell you guys, but there was some Sling from both teams. So...
a little bit.
Now, technically, Nikov did not receive any resources, and I may have said that the Indians would be slung, but I believe that I said that there would be Sling involved at any point in time, and if there was Sling at any point in time, that there would be that. Then I wouldn't have to give you my house. I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
No,
I don't.
We'll
I rent an apartment.
Lawyers. They'll be able to figure out the wording.
As much as I would love to give you guys my apartment, I don't think the apartment complex would like that. All right, so crazy game, man. Crazy game. That was one of the most impressive games I've seen in this 3v3 section of the tournament. And we're not done, are we? We are not done.
Mate, we are nowhere near done for today. After this as well. This is just to see who gets to the finals, guys. After this, you have the actual finals.
Yeah, man. It's going to be exciting. So, Mediterranean will be up next. I think AM team is really good on water. really good on water, and Suomi, I'd say they're at a disadvantage going into this, at least with how I've seen them perform on water. They're a really good land not civilization, really good land. Team. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, you got this. Team.
Yeah,
Boom.
we got this. You guys ready for the next game? Twitch chat? I see everyone rioting against me. Feels bad, man.
Nah, they better be ready. This is gonna be impressive. Come on. We've got Mediterranean, something a little bit different. We're at game 4 here. This could basically still go either way. I'm excited.
Yep. Well, we'll find out, man. We'll find out in just a few seconds. And I'd like to remind you guys that we are going to finish this semifinal today, of course. It's a best of 5. And then the final will be streaming as well. I will be continuing the cast, and I will have Meb join as co-caster, which will be a lot of fun. Let's do this. All right, my friends, welcome to game number 4 between Aftermath and Finland. Finland need a victory, Suomi need a victory, or they are out in the semifinal. And I said at the very beginning of this series that both teams are exceptionally skilled. They just haven't been getting results. So it's going to be exciting for one team to make it to the finals, potentially win the finals and get some good prize pool and points. But it's also going to be very disappointing for one of these teams who, because both have been slightly underperforming in this tournament. Now, I just said that I think AM are better on water. Does not mean that I'm right on that. It does not mean that Finland's are bad on water. We'll see. Leary is playing as Vikings. He's the flank for Aftermath. His pocket is MBL. He's playing as the Italians. And then we have Nikov. He's playing as the Mongol flank on the left-hand side.
I absolutely love it. For Suomi, we have Valise playing in the orange as the Byzantines. We have Zupi in the wedged away as the Italians in the red. And of course, the Max, one of our players we've seen accomplish so much this entire series, but I can say the same for just about everyone in this game today, playing in the purple as the Malay.
Yeah. So, different civs, man. We have Malay versus Vikings on the right. We have Italians pocket for both. And then we have Byzantines versus Mongols on the left. Both teams have civs that can advance faster to the next stage and take early advantages on the flank. We have Mongols with their hunting bonus. They collect food so fast that they can up really fast and go for water control. And then Malay, they can also up faster to the next stage and go for water control, which I assume will be the play. I really hope that Leary doesn't dock this area. This is kind of a bugged Mediterranean map. I don't think he will, but if that were me, I would have been like, oh, water's close by, let's dock that bad boy, and not realize there's no fish there and that it's not connected.
Man, that would be just next level, absolutely next level. But I guess the choice of Vikings here really kind of showing that Leary does want to get onto the water, does want to kind of take that one for the team straight away as much as possible. Vikings, that's the thing, you either absolutely dominantly win the water, or you're in trouble. That's what I've seen from the games. Like, feel free to correct me, but that's what I've seen.
Well, that's one way to put it. Another way to put it would just rearrange the words and basically say, if you don't have time, you'll never win the water. Because
that's much prettier. I
mean, yours is fine, but essentially what it comes down to is that they don't get fire galleys. So you see players even go for fast castle now simply because they don't have fire galleys, and fire galleys are the most dominant unit early on. You can't go fires. If you go fast castle on flank, it's risky, so you have to start out with just galleys. Leary is certainly one of the few players in the world which I'd have a lot of trust with Vikings, because his micro would be very good, but I guess we'll find out, Turkman.
Absolutely, and I think pretty much that sums up what we're going to kind of see on that side of the map.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for some like tricky land shenanigans here, but hey, we all know at the start of one of these games, it's about the fish in the middle of the ocean here, guys. This is where you get the massive boost to your economy. Without it, you really can't survive, just because you're producing not only from like a free source of food, you're being able to increase your economy at the same time as either creating villages. You can just absolutely double down on the entire area, and whoever has that water control is going to have a massive just win early in the game.
Yeah, and for that reason, because the fish is so important to your economy, we will normally see players go all out on water to start, but you said land shenanigans. It's not as if you won't see that at some point. A lot of times once the Imperial Age closes in, the Italians means that teams can make condotieros. So you see players land and use their water control to land and send those condos throughout the bases, so that's a possibility we will see. But Nikov clicks up to Feudal Age. Also worth pointing out that Max has lost his Scout, which, pretty sloppy play from him. Not something you see every day.
Ooh, not something you really want to see at all, actually, especially on a map like this. Because now the thing is, land shenanigans are great. Sure, they don't happen. They don't happen very quickly because people are focusing on that water in the middle because they want the eco bonus.
Yeah.
But the thing is now he can't watch out for land shenanigans. So it does
Correct.
kind of open the door if Leary does want to give it a crack.
Yep. Well, we have Valiz on the left. He's going for water control versus Nikov. They are right next door to each other, or next dock to each other, and they can see that. And Nikov, of course, will hit Feudal Age faster, and Nikov will add fire galleys. And on the right-hand side, Max, he's a little bit further away from Leary, which is good for Leary, but he's on the way up. And Leary's
Alright,
way
I
over
stop
here
you
with his
real
dock.
quick, and I hate interrupting you, but the Max has a transport ship with 2 villages in it, moving across the middle of the ocean just about now.
What? Is he gonna
There you
archer
go.
rush the pocket?
I absolutely hope so. Ah, man, is he going to get spotted, though? That's all I'm worried about, because over here in this kind of northern corner, there's a lot of fishing ships out for both MBL and Leary. If he can stay away from those, this is beautiful, this is nice.
Max doesn't have a scout, so that's really unfortunate. He doesn't know exactly where his opponent's docks are. He doesn't know where the gold is. And the transport is going to get here safely. This is not what I expected here. We have a transport in game number 4. Finland's behind. And I don't think Aftermath has a clue about this. And it's a stable? What? What is happening here?
I'm kind of surprised he didn't delete the transport or anything, because it could get seen now. But I guess if he hides it in that corner, he might be alright. But there's the stable, and I guess it doesn't matter if they see the transport anyway. Things are already under motion. They're going to know that stable's coming at this point, really. Or once the scouts are out there, they know this is coming.
MBL has not seen the barracks of Max, so he's not aware. I just don't really get scouts because scouts can so easily be walled out. But if you surprise your opponent, maybe it works out. On the left-hand side, Nikov has, I don't want to say overrun Valiz, but he's had a strong start simply because of his faster uptime. But Valiz was able to keep his fishing ships alive, which is a pretty huge deal. It feels like Max might want to go into elephants, and Twitch chat wants that. But guys, there's no way he can be in Castle Age now. He doesn't have the economy for that, right? So it has to be scouts. He's not being slung. I checked every Finland's player. There's no markets involved. So it's been a confusing start. But that tower, like, that is probably the best tower that he could get. And it's the luckiest tower because he doesn't know the gold is there, man. He doesn't know the gold is there. And while he won't range all of it, he will certainly surprise MBL. And MBL is going to lose at least 1 vil.
Here is the timing attack. The tower pops up at the same time, of course. Gets the scouts on top of the villages as much as possible. There's one. It looks like we're going to see a second one here as well. We'll deny the lumber camp and force that down as well. That said, there's not a lot of lumber locations MBL can kind of move to. Luckily, he has gone for the split, though.
Yeah. He has another lumber camp. He'll lose his 3rd villager. The problem for Finland with this strategy is they've made themselves much weaker on water. And Leary is massing those galleys, right? So, seeing as Max isn't on water, there's 3 on water currently for Aftermath, which means that they should win this if they play it properly. MBL will be less effective on water now, but look at his economy. It is just a disaster. He had to build a barracks for a few spears. But this is when the scouts really drops off. Like, this is why I think archers would be much better.
He is making the transition, however, so he's going to get them out there as well. Obviously not going to be quite as strong as what it would have been because it didn't have the surprise factor, but he's managed to force the wall-offs at least, and he can kind of use the scouts to, I guess, kind of mop up any units that could basically run off from the wall-offs. And it looks like we've had Leary kind of just tie off the wound as well by getting some walls up.
Yeah, Leary's getting the walls up. Great move, because you never want Max to go to you. But I still think AM's in a strong position, man. They should win water here. The fishing ships are gone for Nikov, which is unfortunate, but he's in a nice position, and it's all about Leary with these galleys, man. Mass Viking galleys.
Look, he's just about there. He's starting to get towards that critical mass. End of the day, MBL losing a couple of villages, like, that sucks, but he's got some fishing ships to back him up.
Yep.
That said, not for long with Valiz getting in there, but if he has the fishing eco, Yeah, this has been great. They're out of position at the moment, so he's moved across, taken it, done the damage there. So now MBL is actually in trouble.
Wow, and a nice demo there for Zupi as well. Now, again, I still think they'll have problems on water, but they're making the most of it, man. Able to kill those fishing ships.
Oh,
I like
where's
it.
Nikov's ships? I'm looking for him, and I can't see anything.
Nikov has 4 military. He's pretty much
That'd
stopped
be
on
why.
water. Yeah.
This is looking pretty decent, actually. This is looking really decent for our boys, man. This is really nice. AM, of course, as soon as the galleys start to hit mass, it's going to be nice. But depending how much damage is done to MBL here, this could be interesting.
I'm silent because this is very different, right? It's hard to analyze the situation, but when it comes down to it, Max is pretty good economically at home. MBL has gone onto stone to build a crap ton of towers, which is purely in defense. He doesn't have fishing ships anymore, so he really doesn't even have food. And Leary, he was trying to wall up there, and he lost a villager to Max's scouts. Max did this in the other game earlier, if you remember. Annoying tower rush, weird strategy to give his team time. It's working out here, I think.
I'm just surprised how well it's working out in the water,
I know.
in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they would have completely lost the water by now, but they've managed to hold it. And because of that, the strategy that we've seen the Max kind of pull off has been even stronger. It's basically, that's the thing, I was expecting it to be counteracted by the fact of the water, but this is amazing.
Yeah, if you look at each person's economy individually, all of the economies for Finland have been protected. And now all of the economies for AM have been harassed. So the harassment factor has been huge, and Max might only have 8 kills to his name, but he has forced every single Aftermath player to do something to deal with him. And he finds a weak vill in the woodline and kills her. What a play from Finland's.
This is great. This is exactly what we wanted here. We were seeing something different. We've seen the Max kind of getting a little bit obscure, and look at him, he's getting obscure again, and it's paying off. This is what we want to see.
He's also denying Nikov's blacksmith and market. And there's a couple weak vills around here, and Nikov's like, not today. But the funny thing is, she's just been walled in and the archers are there. Let's see if she dies. She's on 4 HP, so one hit would kill her.
Tight, but got away with it
Come
for
on,
now,
Scout,
man.
you can do
I was
it.
ready for that.
Oh,
That was some nice quick walling, though. I'll give him props there. That was beautiful.
Yeah, it's important to save every villager, man. Oh, the demo from Belize coming in against what MBL has left against Leary's fishing ships. Zupi is going to be in the Castle Age well ahead of any other player, and Zupi will probably just commit to full water. And the land strategy from Max might lead to a water victory for Finland, which is the crazy thing.
Man, I'm just sorry if I'm being a bit quiet, guys, but this is just different. I'm trying to jump around, see everything that's kind of going on.
Yep.
Looks like the Max has been doing a good job kind of abusing anything he can here. Nikov is looking for... Going to get in there, do a little bit of damage. Pretty much the only economy at the moment that's gone basically unharassed. Even then, on the water, losing a lot of units to it. And I guess just trying to get those galley numbers up. If he gets them up enough, he might be able to reclaim water. But I just don't know if it's going to be enough. We've got Nikov, Leary, Felice all on their way to Castle Age now as well.
And Nikov says, oh, you transport? Well, I can do that too. And he's loading up vills into a transport ship. He is Mongols, right? So perhaps he'll make a few knights. And you know what? If he were to make a stable, it would be right on top of Lee's main gold. This could actually work. This could work really well.
Oh, Felice is on it though. He knows the transport's there. He's already killed it off.
Does he know though? I think that he was patrolling. Okay, now he's reacted. You need to wall in your vills, Nikov. Wall in your vills. Oh! Okay, walls in one vill. So the stable should go up. The stable should go up, but he won't be able to get 2 stables up. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was a little bit awkward. Hey, gonna lose a villager. We'll second.
Ooh, wait.
Tower actually getting pushed up.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh, the palace! No! Oh my god, Nikov! I think he could have gotten the stable up, but now with the tower, 99%. Okay, he still gets it. Okay, well, thank god he can create the knights, but now Valise will make a mad dash to wall this one up before the knights come out. Worth looking at water, of course. We have demos.
Yep.
And has Leary gone too far here? He's kind of
He's
sandwiched.
overextended. Absolutely. He's up against the fire ships. Zupi's already managed to get there. He's got his upgrades behind it. He's getting cornered before War Galley
Oh
even
my
happens.
god!
This is... What was that?
That was insanity right there. That's what it was. Leary gets to Castle Age. He was upgrading to War Galley, and he lost everything. That is the worst possible timing for him there. And that is so good for Finland. Sure, Nikov gets the transport with the stable, but what is he doing with it? Just one single night. And then on the other side of Leary's base, Leary's being hit by Max, and Max has crossbows in. This could be the game right here. What a play from Finland. Look at these villagers. What a unique strategy, man.
Look, my Age of Empires senses are definitely telling me we're going to Game 5 here at this point in time. Yeah. But this has been great. Like, again, AM, it was great thoughts, but look at these galleys. What are you going to do about it now? You've got fire ships on there. Zupi's got complete control of the water. You've got all this harassment happening inside your bases. And just what do you do, man?
The one thing they had was water. They had Leary, and he could have been on war galleys and then into long, I almost call it longbows, but the Viking longboats. That's what they had. And now they're way behind in economy. 60 vils for Zupi and 55 vils for the Max, which is well ahead of what MBL has, the one he originally landed. So I feel like now Finland have the water, they also have the land, and they have a big lead. If they win this game, man, we're going to see a Game 5. It's going to be pretty sick.
Oh, man, this has been fantastic. I am all about it. At the same time, I'm trying to think of what anything AM could do to really kind of get back here. And the only thing they can really ever do is they need to do a little bit of, I guess, get into land combat. This is all they can really do from here. I don't think they're going to be able to take the water back at this stage.
Yeah, I think potentially some lands combat. That's what Nikov was thinking with the transport, right? Maybe some lands combat. I don't know exactly what that would be, because you shouldn't be able to transport again, as your opponent has more navy, and they can't go through the walls either. I don't know. Max has been such an annoyance, though. It's impressive just how much he's done with his presence. He's even building a TC back here. He has an elephant. He has everything back here. It's like Christmas morning, except these are the worst possible presents for Leary. Just keeps getting surprised by this.
Yeah, it's just, I guess the only thing they can really start doing at this stage is dropping siege workshops and kind of trying to go for it. That said, though, it looks like Nikov's putting down a town center, more towards the lumber there. What that's going to kind of be a staging point or not, I'm honestly not sure. And apart from that, yeah, all I can think of is going forward with siege workshops and just trying to absolutely steamroll an economy. But that's about it.
A good micro from Leary, I have to say, considering he's down in Maganel numbers. Does he have a monk on the way? He does. Just trying to keep his Maganel safe, which he will not be able to do.
Oh, the Max transitioning into elephants as well. Elephants like it.
It's a great move, man.
I don't know how he can push against this. It's fantastic. It's beautiful.
Max has 20 more vils than Leary as well. So 1,000 score lead now for Zupi, and even the monks won't convert any more elephants because here's the Max, and the Max has his crossbows next to the monastery. Leary's TC is a gunner. That TC is going to die. And I think that this game could be near over, and we could be going to a Game 5. Look at Leary's base now. It is a disaster.
Those elephants are just so hard to stand up to. That's going to be the issue here. I don't think like they can just survive crossbow fire, town center fire, just for absolute days. And unless he gets some monks out at range, there's nothing he can really do to kind of combat it. And look at that, the town center's even trying to get units out of there. Look how many mangonels there are. He's going to be able to push through that just so easily.
Max killed a monk with 2 crossbows.
From Zupi as well, just out the front of MBL.
Yep, this is what water control gives you. You can transport. He's building a castle, and he's going to make condotieros. Would not surprise me to see the GG come in even before the condotieros are created, because this is already disastrous for the Aftermath boys. Nikov's on the way in, so is Belize, though. Awesome game, man.
Fantastic.
It was,
this is fantastic.
This whole best of 5 has had some insanely sick strategies. I cannot get over it. And, well, we're not finished yet. I mean, I don't think I'm calling it too early. I think Game 5 is on the way, Turkman.
I agree, and I am happy so we can see another ridiculous kind of strategy come out. I'm just going to be sitting on the Max just about all game, trying to see what he does.
Yeah. He has not played his typical role. I think that with Zupi in the team, Zupi plays the standard role, the boom role, and then carries well in late game. Max is instead playing the I don't know what word you'd have for it, but the point is he's the one who sets his team up for success with these wacky strategies, puts his team in a strong position. MBL, this is going to be the biggest surprise for him. He does not know that there are condotieros on the way. He doesn't even know the castle's there. And he'll find out now, and he is in Castle H himself, so he has no way to counter that.
Nikov's trying to get something going down here towards the south. He's got a couple of castles out. He's getting the Mangadai out. But end of the day, MBL, yeah, is about to just get absolutely overrun. And there we go.
Max is the one who knocks. That's what chat's saying here. Yeah, it's an interesting way of putting it. Interesting way of putting it. And I have to say, guys, there's been a few strats. You really know when it's a strong and unique strategy when the casters get confused. You know? Because for a while there, I don't know about you, but I didn't like the scout strategy. I thought it was going to drop off if MBL added a few spears. But man, he transitioned into the archers quickly. The tower, of course, was fantastic. He pressured not one, but two players. And then his teammates just ended up winning water then. And that demo shot was the highlight of the day right there. Leary, that was a huge mistake from him and a huge mistake to capitalize on for Zupi. Huge demo.
I just can't believe how the entire situation played out. It was just ridiculous. Like, that scout strategy was great. It did a little bit more than it should have, which is fantastic overall. Yeah, like, the demos against Leary did a little bit more than they should. Just added up into the... look, I don't want to say it was a steamroll, but I don't think there was any point where I really thought AM were on top.
Now, think about this. If Leary didn't lose his galleys, he would have had War Galley. He would be Vikings. He would have still been harassed by Max on land, but the situation would have been much better for Aftermath because they could have potentially won water, and with water they could have denied future transports and done a lot. So that was probably the worst possible thing for Aftermath to experience at that time, and Leary will be kicking himself, and he's going to kick himself right to Game 5 because that's where we're headed.
Let's hope they've kind of wised up. They know what's up now. They know the Max should be doing something tricky now. They should know. So hopefully they keep a little bit of extra eye on him. They know exactly what's going to kind of go on from there, and then we're good to go.
Well, I'm good to go, man. I don't know if you are. We're going to find out who wins this best of 5 and moves on to face SY in the finals.
We're so close now, guys. So close.
I wish I had the Civ list next to me, but we'll find out what the Civs are in a bit. I'm excited, guys, and it's good to see so many people here. I know I'm not talking to chat as much as I typically do during my streams, but I could see you all, and it's amazing that... I don't know, I still get mind blown, man. I still get chills when I do this. I'm 13 months into doing this age thing full time, and I wouldn't be here. The community wouldn't be here. This whole thing would not be happening if it wasn't for so many people watching and supporting this game. So thank you guys for being here today. All right, we are here, man. Game number 5. We have Oasis, Turkman. We have Oasis, and I will start with Aftermath and introduce them. In the teal, we have MBL. MBL is playing as the Franks. His pocket is Leary. Leary's playing as the Mayans. And we have Nikov. He is playing as the Saracens.
In the purple, we have basically the Max playing as Mayans. That's going to be interesting. Sorry, I love the fact he's in that position right now. Over in the middle, we have Valise as the Turks playing in the orange. And then Zupi in the red playing as the Franks. Man, so Mayans up the front. I love it.
Yeah, so the difference is one team has Turks, one team has Saracens. Both can be strong in late game. We've seen Sling with both those civs. Who knows? What we do know is there's going to be jockeying for positions here. Oasis is very, I don't want to say easy to wall up, but it's important to wall up. And we see that a lot from teams, and oftentimes the game can be decided by how successful those walls are. So we'll be looking between MBL and Max, and between Nikov and Zupi with those walls.
All right, I guess kind of the question here, as a pocket, would you prefer a Mayan or a Turk?
Mayans, I think.
Yep.
Simply because when you're pocket, well, I don't know, though. I don't know. It depends on how they want to play it. If your pocket is Mayans, then you have the option to just boom and not help, or you could fast castle into Plumed Archers and help, which is probably the play. However, Turks, they can go scouts from pocket. So that's the benefit of having Turks. They could go scouts in Feudal Age. Mayans can't do that. And they could also go knights immediately when Castle Age hits. So I think in terms of opportunity, there might actually be more opportunity for Turks. It's just that the potential for damage done is stronger for Mayans, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those things where the Turks can hit, I guess, harder earlier and really kind of get that momentum going.
Yep.
Whereas the longer the mine's there, the bigger issue they're going to kind of prove to be.
And this is a very momentum-based map. On all maps where you're jockeying for position, it's momentum-based. And MBL is already walling up because he realizes how important that is going to be. Yep.
Yeah, for MBL, that's a really quick wall.
Remember, we've seen instances where someone walls this early like MBL is doing, and then there is a tower rush that comes in. So maybe Max would consider going for towers here, bust through the walls, and that is just a waste of time for MBL in the end. MBL's start has not been good. He hasn't found his sheep. He was late with finding his boars. Luckily, he's finding his food just at the right moment, but he needs to make sure he finds those sheep, man.
Yeah, interestingly as well, we've got Nikov going down with his walls, and they're kind of walling themselves into a bit of a corner here.
Yeah.
Looks like they're not too worried about trying to take as much ground as possible right now, which is very different from all the other Oasis games, especially the games we've seen today as well.
I think what this tells me is that they are not planning on going aggressive in Feudal Age. Because if they were going to go aggressive in Feudal Age, they wouldn't be walling now. They would fight, they would jockey for position, and then wall further forward. But since they're walling so passively, that tells me that they will probably play more defensively and try and build up towards something a bit stronger than what early Feudal offers. Whereas for Finland, it is probably going to be aggression if they see those walls, and they might know the situation.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. MBL throwing down at barracks as well now, so it looks like he does want to try and get a little bit of aggression in there. I guess kind of just, if he can mess with the Max instead of having the Max mess with him, I think that's a really good start.
Yeah, and Valiz will go for scouts, Turkmen, so Barbecue Turkman is here, and Turks are going scouts, man. Did that make you cringe?
What I'm all about.
Yeah, I really hope that made people cringe at home. That's what I'm here for. I got to throw them in every once in a while. So scouts, what side will he go to then? I mean, either side is fine because Aftermath is pretty much allowing them to do this. Max is on the way to Feudal, though. I bet you Max goes forward. I bet you he goes man-at-arms and towers against those walls. Would not surprise me.
I hope so. I really hope so, because that would be fantastic. And that's what I want to see. Like, we're in the best of 5 with ridiculous games. Let's close it off with another ridiculous game. And that's what I'm all about right now.
Nikov is still in Dark Age, so it seems like a fast castle for him. Leary, still in Dark Age, seems like a fast castle for him. And MBL is going up to Feudal to fight a little bit. He's not even fully walled here.
That's an interesting wall choice, but hey, we can talk about the wall choice a different day. But the militia moving forward, the Eagles on it as well, might potentially get a villager here. That'd be nice. Moves, well, Leary getting in there to help as well, actually.
Yeah, I think they all need their scouts here. I think we'll see all scouts from all sides helping, because this is not walled up, and Max says, oh, you left it open for me? That's great, man. I'm going to walk right in if you don't mind. Oh, can MBL gate this off? He does gate it off. That's a big deal.
Nice. Nice job. There's a very low HP palisade there, but in come the villagers it up. So it's looking like this isn't going to be as bad as it could have been.
I was getting flashbacks to when Nilly left that hole in the wall and his team fell apart during one game. Actually, it was twice. I cried about that one a little bit. MBL has recognized the situation. He's saying it's fine, and he's now building a lot of house walls. And he'll probably go into defensive towers. They just need to keep Max from pushing in here. Because his teammates, remember, his teammates are on the way to Castle Age.
Exactly. If he can just delay this push, all he needs to do is just keep it delayed. Yep. Don't lose any units. His friends can basically come in and back him up. And that's what we're looking for here. If he manages to get that in, it's fantastic. Leary will be there to back him up. You'll have Nikov to back him up. And basically the Max's push will be basically knocked flat on its face. Yep. However, if he does get in, that's where the trouble really begins.
Yeah, and I just don't see them getting in. This might work out for AM. And now, if you think back to the Frantic SY series, there was an instance where Vivi pushed forward with towers, and then he kind of stalled out, and he continued building towers that I considered useless. And he did not use that time to stonewall with the position he had. I think that Max should recognize that he's probably not going to go in much further, and he should just start walling up. Because the pressure's going to come from Leary. The pressure's going to come from Nikov at some point. So I think they need to wall because of that. And Turkman, I've said fast castle for Nikov, but he's stonewalling and he's building a market. I wonder if he'll consider slinging Leary.
Whoa, that'd be really interesting, actually. I'm going to keep an eye on it, see if it kind of happens.
Seems like it could
Obviously,
be possible.
hasn't clicked to castle yet. We've got Leary and Zupi both on their way up now. The only thing I'm really worried about, if that's the case, what happens if, you know, we've got 3 players here that are up against overall. The Civ's choices are actually pretty good as well. So Frank's obviously going to be able to move into Knights, anything along there.
Yep.
And if he pushes through that wall, I guess that's the hard bit there. But the fact is, we've already got Valise on the other side with scouts. What happens if Leary can't deal with this on his own?
I don't know, man. That's why stone walls are up, to give them time, I suppose.
Yeah, because that's the thing with mines in pocket. Will he be able to get there in time to help deal with it, I guess?
Sorry, I need to see what's going on here with Nikov. Nikov has not sent any he sent 40 tribute so far, which is peculiar to me. He has so much gold in the bank that I expected a sling of some kind.
Well, you know who is slinging? The lease is slinging the max. They just got some resources sent across then.
Okay.
So that's definitely going down as well.
Yes. So get Max to Castle Age and go to Plumes. This makes sense. And this is something they should be able to pull off as well, seeing as Leary is not sending any pressure yet. And I don't think Leary will send pressure. I think he'll add TCs before he makes any military.
Alright, there you go. Nikov sent a big tribute now. So yes, he will definitely be slinging.
To Leary or to MBL?
To Leary.
Okay, so he's slinging Leary. Leary will go for Plumes. However, Leary's going for what I would call a higher economic approach because he's adding TCs first. Perhaps these 4 villagers he's sending over to Nikov's side will build a castle in a bit, and they might pressure Zupi, actually. Well, Zupi is just fully booming, guys. He's adding town centers, adding vills. So the strategy is to get the Mayan players in stronger positions while the Frank players are not yet at the point where they can fight, so they're mainly relying on their economy.
Oh man, it has me a little bit worried, especially because Leary's going for that more economic approach as well. If the Max really gets slung up into it here, he's going to be able to power through this quite quickly. He's already halfway towards Castle Age, and unless Leary's there to back him up, I don't know how this is going to unfold. I'm actually a little bit worried.
Oh my god, that tower from Max is so good, and I feel like MBL had the time to possibly prepare for that. Max is in a perfect position to build a forward castle against these houses, man. Perfect position for that.
Absolutely.
And MBL now doesn't have his main gold, and he's only in feudal age.
This is rough. MBL has thrown up a market as well, actually.
MBL probably using that market for not the sling, but to adjust his economy because he's out of gold.
Yeah.
So, building a watchtower to keep Max out, but Max will build a castle, I'm sure of it. He'll build a castle forward. Leary's building his castle on the other side. So he won't be anywhere close with his castle to help.
Oh, no. He's on Nikov's side, too. And that's the thing. I don't think he can really even push in against Zupi. Zupi's got the stone walls up as well. The Max is up in a Castle Age. We should see that castle. Boom, there it is. Pretty much exactly where you thought it would come up as well, straight away. This is interesting. I was not expecting this.
It's an awkward situation for AM. I think if Zupi were to triple Stonewall here or something ridiculous, that I would like Finland's position a lot more. But as it stands, Zupi's not sure of what's happening. And Plumed Archers and Petards could easily bust through that one layer of Stonewall. And they really need to, because Leary will not be able to help MBL at all, as his castle's on the other side of the map. They really need to make sure that they pressure the Finland players on the other side.
This is, what I was really worried about from the start when I noticed Nikov was probably going for the sling against with Leary there as well. Leary took the more economic approach, and basically they've just left MBL on his own basically over here at the moment. Yep. Stonewall's getting thrown up again, so he's trying to, again, just keep the delay happening. He just needs And I don't even. That's it. It's how are they going to push it against Zupi? Like you said, a pallet say. Sorry, a couple of petards, and they'll be able to kind of push through those walls. Absolutely. But until then, Zupi's just being left alone to boom up behind this as well.
Yeah, but Leary is receiving Sling and is going to be an imp. So with Bracer Plumes, well, Zupi doesn't even have a freaking stable. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for Zupi, right? So I think perhaps Zupi will have to hold with some castles or something. He has not stonewalled up any further. And this is going to be down to who is the most stubborn, who dies the slowest. MBL is obviously in trouble. He's fat slobbing it up right now. And
look, I think the walls are good. The walls are stubborn.
Yeah. Now, does he build a university and get fortified wall? Yeah, it looks like he will. You know, go for fortified wall. I'm not even sure if Franks have it. I assume they do. Like, that's one of those small techs that you don't see often enough for me to remember what civs have it, but that's probably what MBL will go for. And look, the plumes are through, and Leary's building another forward castle. This is where it all begins.
Man, I like it. University's coming down, but he's in the base. There we go. Like you said, forward castle coming down. Can be quick to be able to reinforce, get any kind of aggression in there. Over. How is he going to deal with it? Everything's pretty much over on, I guess, the max right now. So really, they weren't expecting any kind of aggression on this side. MBL a lot better defended at the moment in terms of dying out stubbornly overall, which is kind of really what the big win is here. And if these plumes with their range can get in there and kind of delay this enough, it's going to be really quite perfect.
It's just a really awkward situation, man. It's just a really awkward situation. Leary's on the other side. Max is on the other side. Those are the only two fighting right now. And they're on opposite sides. So it's not as if the two top players are fighting against each other. Like, what could happen here is, like, MBL will be completely wiped. Zupi could be completely wiped. But the difference is that Leary can go through two people who don't have army, while Max goes through one, being MBL, and then hits Leary. Like, it's so weird. I like AM's position more. I like it a lot more, for sure.
I definitely like MBL's bail just in case town center down towards Leary, so he's definitely prepared for the long run here and knows things may not work out for him. I like the fact he's committed to that nice and early, just in case, but hey, looking over towards Zupi's base here, look at the villages, they're just getting knocked down left, right, and center, and that university still hasn't even been finished, which is going to kind of hurt him in the long run. Oh my god, as well.
Look at the idols, 40 idols for Zupi. Look at all the idols for Valise, and this is great for Aftermath, man. Max has to come back, so this saves MBL's skin. Max has to come back to help because of Leary's amazing pressure.
This is fantastic. This is what we want to see. I was worried there for a minute, but no, he's managing to pull it off. And even because of that as well, if you have a look, the pressure's stopped on MBL. Because Max has been forced to help come deal with Valise's problem.
Yeah.
This is working out really, really well for them.
And Zupi's now getting fortified wall. That is not for his original walls, which have been busted through. It's for another set of walls he's building. My god. That's actually a smart move, though, because obviously there's a lot of vills for Zupi. If he keeps them alive, then he'll be in a good spot. Elite Plume on the way for Leary,
out of it.
Yeah.
Whereas looking at this, the Trebuchet is moving forward again for Leary. He's got the castle up in the base. This is brutal.
This is a ridiculous game.
What did we expect? What did we expect after the last couple?
Yeah, I know. What a game to end it on, man. This is this ring around the rosy game where players are running around in circles. All the castles for Leary are on the complete opposite side of the map from Max's castles. But I like Leary's position a lot more, and I like Leary in these situations a lot more. 25 kills, 4 deaths for him. He will be on 4 castles before you know it, I'm sure. And can he be stopped now? Max can't push. He has to defend, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Max has to kind of just defend in general right now. But that's it. He's putting the castles up aggressive. I guess he's just using them as kind of a staging more than anything, not to actually push, because he can't risk losing them. Whereas looking over and kind of how Leary's doing this, Leary's just like paving a whole line of destruction with castles behind it to back it up. This is fantastic.
MBL, he told me I had a conversation with MBL. He said Fatslob is his favorite Age of Empires 2 player. So here we go. He's doing it, man. 2 layers, fortified wall, just delaying his death essentially. And Leary is going to the other side, and he's gonna bust right through these walls. And Zupi, he's obviously not a huge Fatslob fan. He's late to his walls, and he's trying to scramble up more. Oh my god.
What are we even watching right now? This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm just watching even MBL. He's going back with more walls as well right now. This is preparation.
It's a winning strategy, man. It's a winning strategy. You know, there's this game, there's this Age of Empires 2 scenario called Wall Builders. And this is like Wall Builders right now. This is what this is like. This is ridiculous. Oh my god.
Being lost on these walls from Zupi as well.
Yeah.
The villagers he escaped with may as well be dead. May as well have died in the base. This is brutal.
Yeah, it's crazy what this game has turned into, and it's only going to get worse for Finland's now. It's a horrible way to go out, isn't it? But Max does not have Elite Plume. He does not even have Chemistry. He does not have a lot of upgrades, actually, he's missing. And he can't fight Leary, and Leary has not been stopped. 50 kills, 40 deaths for him. Just steamrolling. And Valise's eco, it's a feudal age economy. He can't do anything to stop this himself.
Yeah, MBL's not going to let him touch Leary. Look at these walls coming up behind. Nothing happening. Big brother Leary is taking care of my brother right here. It's great.
This is such a stupid way to win a game, but it makes so much sense.
It absolutely does.
MBL, let's think about this. Would Leary be in this position if not for MBL? No. So MBL is the MVP. And Leary's going to keep the gate open. Leary stands underneath the gate, and he keeps the gate open. Oh my god, and he'll just run right through. He says, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And he sends all of his plumes through. Wow. Okay, the one plumed archer failed.
I agree. The play from MBL right now is phenomenal. All he's doing is just delaying making the Max's life as hard as possible. He was the player that got slung, and he just can't do anything with it. Whereas you've got Leary 3/4 around the way of the map now. He's about to do the full lap.
Oh my god. Oasis is a treat, man. These teams are always a treat to watch. This has been a treat, and I think it's safe to say now it's gonna be tough for Finland. Max he was receiving sling, but the guys who are slinging him are near death now, and Leary's gonna be knocking on his door soon. So it's not as if just his allies are getting hit. He's gonna get hit here in a second.
So let's raise attention to something right now, quite important. The kill-death ratio for Leary, quite impressive. I think that's probably one of the best ones we've seen in a while.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's attacking mainly villagers, which helps, but it just shows how better their position has been. It's not that Max has played bad, it's just that MBL has kept him walled out, and Leary, you can see him continuing to ask for resources. They're probably in voice chat, and he's just still using the taunts like a boss, asking for gold, asking for wood. 66 plumes. At the end.
And now he's into the Max. Here we go. Max is going to have to stop his assault at the front. Deal with this one. If he stops the assault, it's basically game over. He's got capped rams doing their best, but it just isn't going to get there quite yet.
MBL's going for more walls, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, yes. Bring it on.
And Leary, of course, can afford to send some plumes to this side, too, to stop Max from pushing through.
Nikov's decided now's the strategic time to move up to Castle Age as well. I like that, you know. Gonna get in the game at this point, gonna do some damage. But we've already got siege rams out for Leary as well, so he's gonna be able to put this quite easy. As far as it goes, he's just a more, I would say, perfected. I think player of the mines right now. Just he's got the build you want, he's got the composition. Couple of mangonels behind it, because why not at this point, and really just going for it.
This quite literally comes down to the fact that MBL walled like crazy. Imagine if Zupi did this. We would have had the same situation. They just didn't realize that we would come to that side, I guess, right?
We would have had like another hour and a half of just watching the walls. And we could have talked about our days. It would have been beautiful. But instead, we've got something like this where it's absolutely ridiculous. This game is mayhem, and it's exactly what we're about.
Well, Max has full upgrades on his plumed archers now, but Leary's micro is some of the best in the game. And he's microing around the siege rams. Now, he needs his own siege rams. You can see what siege rams can do. MBL's on the way to the Imperial Age, guys. And Nikov, of course, is in Castle Age. And they will probably join the fight.
MBL, MVP, right here. How is he getting to Imperial? I would not have expected that behind this. He's got 94 villages.
Pretty
crazy. He's effectively boomed up behind this. This is great. Valise, 38.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And I believe now Leary, if he wants to, could send food to MBL so MBL could go Paladin, because he's already gotten all his researches. He doesn't need food. He just needs wood and golds. Leary is
How
building
scared
what
would
will
you
be his
be?
5th castle, man.
How scared would you be when you see MBL deleting his?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be a pretty foreign sight to see MBL deleting his walls instead of building more.
Oh
But
man,
fact of the matter
siege ramp
is,
fight.
Elise and Zupi are too far behind the others on the Aftermath team. And I think that once they come into the equation, especially considering the fact that there's no trade possible for Finland's, they're going to be in even bigger trouble.
Oh man, MBL's throwing down some stables over him where kind of Valise, I guess, Valise and Zupi kind of started their rule. Throwing down some stables, so looking like he's going to get involved there as well. How those villagers got there and when, I don't know, but they definitely are. In fact, he's got 2 town centers just outside of Nikov's base as well. MBL's, again, he's hedged his bets and he's like, if I get wiped, I'm staying in this, you know?
He has TC. Look at this. This guy's... He is traveling. He is seeing the world, guys. He's had some life experiences. TC's here. TC's here. TC's here. Here. All around the map, man. And that's where he's getting his resources from. And he's going to, of course, go Cavalier to help Leary. I don't even know if Leary needs it. That's the crazy thing. Leary already has Onager on the way. He has more siege rams than Max does. Max will lose his castle finally. And a hilarious game, but... really great strategy from Aftermath and better execution, and it all comes back to MBL in a way because of those walls.
Oh, it absolutely does. If MBL was just pushed, it would have been straight to Leary, and that would have basically been game over. But at this point, you've got MBL, he's going up into Cavalier, chain binding, forging, conscription. Like, he's about to get back in the game after this. Seeing those paladins rock through from MBL, you'll have to be a little bit annoyed that he managed to basically keep going. Yeah,
Zupi is on the way to the Imperial Age. He only has 74 vills, though, and he doesn't have a lot of food and gold, which is a big problem for him. And poor Velez, man, he's in feudal age. There's the leaf plumed archers on his face. He's trying to run away from this. Wow.
Man, it's actually close to seeing people get KO'd at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you've got this little kind of farming economy up on the top of basically Weverly, on top of the Max's first castle there, so just up there kind of hanging out. That's about it. That's all he's got really going on at the moment. He needs to get back in the fight. And I don't think anyone can spare the resources to get him back up in there.
They don't have space for economy. Finland's have 20% of the map, if that, man. And it's going to get worse and worse for them. MBL's Paladin upgrade is on the way. Leary doesn't even need the help, as I said.
This is just... I don't even know where to go with this. Paladin, like he said, about to kick in with MBL. When that Paladin kicks in and they start streaming, that'll definitely be game over. At this point, though, the Max, he might be down to his last layer of MBL wall. If he can push through that, he might finally see Leary.
He's probably like, oh, guys, we did it. Guys, we did it. We did it. And then Paladins show up, and then he dies there, and they know it. They call the GG. Man. It's like, on one hand, that's hilarious, and it's really intelligent play from MBL to wall like that. But on the other hand, I can't help but be disappointed for Finland's, because all they needed to do was wall that side. If they would have realized that there was a potential for Leary to come here, and they stonewalled, then it would have been the same thing on both sides. But because they didn't recognize that, and they didn't wall up, and MBL did, the game went into Aftermath's favor. That was, though, a very unique and special Age of Empires 2 game, and it was just great recognition from Aftermath to recognize the situation in this game. Leary could have easily... MBL could have maybe been saying to Leary, you gotta help me, you gotta help me, you gotta help me, build the castle on the right. But Leary said, no, just stonewall. Or MBL said, no, I'll just stonewall. We'll go to the left, catch them by surprise, and we'll clean up 2 out of the 3 players.
I just love the idea that they're in voice chat and Larry's like, do you need help, man? And MBL's just like, nah, man, I got this. Like, just go do your thing.
Yeah, I'm fine. He's probably the whole time, I'm fine, guys, I'm fine. I can't do MBL voice. But for those that know him, I'm sure it fits. He's probably saying he was fine.